Good morning, welcome to Sewing Quarter. I'm Natasha McCarthy. Now, slightly interesting one today because I do have two guests. I've got lovely Jane Alcock with me this hour, making this fabulous bag. Yes, you spy a bit of Kaffe. I've also got Lucy Brennan, but as we know from yesterday, she feels fine, no voice. So we're going to see how that goes. We are dosing her up on lemon, ginger and honey at the moment. If there's no voice, it's going to be, a different take on a show, maybe with some voiceover work. So bear with us today. Lucy's up for doing the shows because she feels well enough, but we'll see. But this hour we do have Jane Alcock, who I'm pleased to say is in fine health. Fine health. And this is what we're making this hour. So let's go through what we've got coming up for you today. So here we go, 8 o'clock. It's Techniques and Templates Sunday. So we've got an Oceanside Tote bag. That's what you've just seen, which is really rather lovely. 9 o'clock, we've got Creative Grids Unlocked and possibly Mimed. 10 o'clock, we've got Quilting with Jane, and as you can see behind her in just one moment, it's a gorgeous quilt. And then at 11, we've got a Curvy Log Cabin cushion. Not easy to say. All about your creative grids today. We love them, you love them. It's time to work out how to use them. Oh yes. So this is the bag that we're making this hour. Yes, if you watched Kaffe, any of the Kaffe shows, you'll know that there's a whole load of Kaffe going on in there. In actually quite unusual colours for him. Well, I mean, I know he likes blue and white, but, there's not 8 million colours in there. So understated Kaffe, I feel today. But really lovely. And this has come out of the Fat Quarter Bags book, which you get in your bundle. So this is the bundle that never runs out because you always have the inspiration from your Fat Quarter bags. Now, it says fat quarter bags, and we know that a ½ metre of fabric is 2 fat quarters. So we're giving you effectively 6 fat quarters in each bundle, plus a whole load of your iron-on interfacing. This is great stuff. It's already compressed, so you can iron it on. Brilliant. Now, the first bundle that we've got for you today is, look at this, absolutely warm and toasty and gorgeous. That's your thread you're getting with it, because you're also getting your thread. I'm hugging that bag. Let me move that bag over to there. Here we go. This is the brand new Kaffe Fassett fabric that we showcased last Thursday? Yes. Here we go. So you've got your, look at the rake. This is called Raked. And this one, I want to say gerbera, but it's not. It's a different flower. Is it gerbera? It is gerbera. Yeah, in magenta. There we go. So these are the colours. They're warm, they're rich, they're autumnal, but they've also got that warmth of the sun running through them there. So these are the fabrics that you're getting when you purchase this, plus the book, plus the thread, plus the wadding, all for $43.45. Fabulous. Now, next one. Maybe you've bought some of this fabric to make into stunning tops and things. We've had this on a lot of the clothes shows, but also, this sold out, didn't it, first time we brought it to air? We've got producer Hayley in today. So we've had to reorder in the poppy fabric. You're very quiet right now, producer Hayley. Yeah. So this is the smaller poppies. Yesterday we had the big poppies. This is the smaller poppies, same print but scaled down. Plus you've got your red and you've got your blue there. So $34.95 UAGC 55. That is your option there. So we've got 1.5 meters of fabric there. Now, and of course, don't forget you've got your fleece in there, your book and your thread. So everything, big, 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 big bundle. Now, here we go. This is a different take on the bag that we've got for you today. So in this bundle, yes, you're getting your gerbera in your Kaffe, you're getting your raked. And then today we've given you green in there as well. £41.45, and there's your thread as well. So JZGC11 is your code for that. I'm going to take this bag and head over to meet Jane. Jane, hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. You?
Yes, thank you. We
Good.
both have voices.
We do.
This
Poor
is
Lucy.
This is fabulous. Now, Jane, I need to show everybody this.
Thank you.
It's not this hour. This is on at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
But, wow, Jane has worked so hard and has made this entire quilt. Isn't it gorgeous?
It's lovely.
And actually, when you step back and look at it, because I know you've had your head in it, busily sewing and quilting it.
Yes, I have.
But when you actually take a step back from it, it's just gorgeous.
It's really pretty.
And this is using this Gerber fabric. Beautiful.
A bit sunshiny, which we need today.
Yeah, we do. And it kind of, so I look at it and sometimes I see, you know, the wheels that you stick in the sandcastle. Sometimes I see balls, you know, that you play with at the beach, beach balls, as they're otherwise known. It's just lovely. And I love the detail that the one down the bottom there...
It sort of rotates, doesn't it? It's small moves. Yeah, it's lovely.
Brilliant. That's what we've got coming up at 10 o'clock. I just couldn't ignore the fact that we stood in front of such beautiful quilts. And these fabrics, of course, Kaffe, brand new Kaffe. We're going to work with the rich, warm, sunny one.
Yes. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yes. It's happy fabrics.
It certainly is happy.
And this is, here we go. This is the take on it. Really lovely. So 43.45 TPGC 99 is your code to get that. You are getting a metre of Kaffe in there. You get half a metre of the raked, half a metre of your Gerber, and then you get half a metre of your linear as well. So it's adding in a different texture. Yes. Fabulous.
It's lovely.
And this has all come out of the fat quarter bags. Here we go. So this is page 12 in the fat quarter bags. This is a brilliant little booklet, isn't it? Just full of ideas.
Bags, yeah.
And if you love to quilt, but maybe you don't fancy making an entire quilt, but you actually just fancy a little challenge, something a bit different. And what I really like about this is that it gives you in two different colourways. You get the charts, and also, look here, you get how to cut it out of your fat quarter. In this case, we've given you half a metre of each. So we've given you plenty, but it shows you the best, most effective, let's face it, frugal way to cut it out. Yeah. Love that. Shows you the inside, because I love a pocket, not going to lie. There's a big one in there. And there it is. And what this book will do, because we know that the feel of something changes from different fabrics and different colourways, so it always gives you a second, just sort of idea as to how, if you change your colours up, how it's going to work out. So they've done it in quite cool shades and then done this rich one. And we've sort of done the same. We've done it in blues to show you. We've also got it in this vibrant, warm colour tone as well. So you get that book. It's got all sorts of other books in there? Bags in there?
Bags in there.
Bags in there. Jane, was it easy to follow?
It was. It was really nice. And that chart that shows you how to get the most out of each fat quarter is really helpful.
I hate waste.
I'm a bit like that. And
So
if I have any, I like to
me...
have biggish pieces so that I can use that for something else.
Yeah. I have two different scrap bins, one for small ones, one for larger ones, and then I cut them down as and when I go, and then I have boxes of pre-cuts.
Yeah. Very organised. I just have piles of fabric.
Do you?
Yes.
So my question to you at home is, how do you scrap your fabric? Are you organised? I have a friend that does English paper piecing, and she's got them all pre-done and then stacked in colour order.
Wow. I bet they look lovely.
Gosh. So this is how you would get in touch. Let's have a look. So if you want to email us and get in touch today, it's studio@sewingquarter.com, or you can head to the website, and underneath where you can view us live, there is a little box that says message the studio, and you can do that. And that all comes straight through the studio, which is lovely. There you go. Super. So we'd love to hear from you. How do you scrap yours? Where do we start?
Right, well, I thought what I'd do is I'd show you the patchworky bit. So I'm going to show you how to make basically the front and the back of the bag.
And then it's just to strip down the side, isn't it?
Yeah, all the pieces are there. You layer them up with the iron-on Viley, it's like foamy stuff. It's not like, well, it is wadding, but it's a bit denser. It's more like foam. And it's got a more
actually,
rigid.
Amy's there. Amy, could you pass me the wadding, please, so I can... Thank you, my love.
It's slightly more rigid. Denser, I think, is the word I'm looking for.
It's like it's been compressed, isn't it? Because we had a different one on yesterday, which was a heat-resistant one, and again, it had been really compressed so that the heat didn't get through. And this has been compressed so that it's more rigid for your bag.
Which gives you a firmer for your bag, gives you more stability with your bag.
But the difference with this one, yesterday's was a sew-in, today's is an iron-on. So I don't know if you can see the little glue dots on here. So one side super soft, and then the other, if you can see those little white dots there, they are glue dots.
Yeah. And they, when you apply heat, they melt. So that is what makes your fabric stick to it.
Perfect. Was that easy to do?
It was, yes. I mean, we had a little issue, didn't we, last time with the Quilt As You Go, but we solved it. It was easily solved. That one is a little easier to use. You still need to have your steam setting on your iron, which is quite alien to me because I dry iron. I don't use the steam because steam tends to move your fabric as well. So I had to just make sure I'd got my steam setting on. But yeah, with that one, and you can press quite firmly with that because it's already compressed and it's not going to flatten anymore. So you can give it a good iron with that, and it adheres really nicely. I
like this. After our last show, where we tackled the if your iron-on isn't ironing on, what to do, we had some lovely messages saying thank you, because it's nice to know when the experts struggle that actually if you struggle at home, what the answers are, because there's always a way. Yeah. There's always a way. And with this, bit of steam and you're good to go. We've had a message that says, from Joe, can I get the book on its own? Yes, you can. We're going to put those details in now. Any second. Now, I mean, obviously now when I say now, I mean like, you know, within the next 5 minutes. But yes, there you go. It's £12.95 for you there, Joe. That's your Fat Quarter Bags booklet by Stephanie Preston. I'm not sure why it's called a booklet, because it is very firmly a book.
Yes.
In my book.
There's lots of patterns in there. I don't know how many bags there are in there. There's at least 8, is there? 8 bags.
And you get different colourways for both. And each one is made out of 6 fat quarters. So if you've got a fat quarter stash that you are just itching to work your way through, then great. But we've put, of course, 3 half metres, which is the equivalent to 6 fat quarters. Yes. So whichever way round you work it, that's the amount of fabric you're going to need. 1.5 metres of fabric, be that in 6 fat quarters or half metre strips. Entirely up to you. But it does have some beautiful makes in here. We've made a few out of this book because it is... Look at that.
I love that one.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? And all of them have these big, deep pockets.
Yeah.
Which is great, because then you can pop your keys in, wallet in, whatever. You're not going to lose them. And yet you've still got lots of space in the rest. So whichever... It's just... This is what a lot of quilters say, isn't it? By the time that you've made a massive, great big quilt, sometimes you need a quicker project.
Yes.
Just for that instant gratification. This is it, in this book. And you get it in your bundle.
They're lovely, clear instructions as well. And lots of pictures so that you can see... Because sometimes you can read a pattern and you're like, well, what does that quite mean? But there's lots of pictures so you can see the interpretation.
Well, the thing that I'm learning about quilting is that there are lots of different terminology that often mean the same thing. For instance, wadding and batting. It's like, well, what are they? They're the same thing. It just depends which side of the Atlantic you live on.
That's right.
You know, it's that. So sometimes instructions can be a little bit misleading. If you've got pictures, then your belt and brace is bound to understand it.
Definitely, yeah.
Excellent. So where do we start?
Right. What I did, the first thing I did was I took my half metre pieces and I cut them in half to make them into fat quarters. Purely because in the instructions in the book, you've got the layout for a fat quarter.
Page 12.
They give you the layout, and I thought the easiest thing for me to do is to make them into fat quarters, and then I'll know I've got the right pieces. So,
and then you're working exactly.
Yeah, so you know exactly how many squares and rectangles. The accent fabric is... On this bag is the patterned piece, the bit that sort of forms that diamond in the middle and the bit that echoes around it.
One where you've used the linear.
Yeah, and I used the pink on the other bag. So once you've got your accent, because then the other one is classed as a background, so once you've worked out which way around you'd like to have the pattern, whether you want to have it with the pattern or the plain, you can then decide which fabric you're going to then cut out which piece is from. I chose to have the pattern as the background, and now looking at it, I wish maybe I'd chosen the raked for the accent, because I think with that bright yellow it might have shown up a bit more.
I think, you see, I like it, like, yeah, I don't know.
I'd chosen the plain for the blue one, because I thought, oh, that's nice, that sets it off nicely. But now looking at that, the yellow of the rake really pops out, and I think, oh, that might have been better as the accent fabric.
But then I like how that pattern sort of is echoed as it, and the way that it moves down there. It's design choices, isn't it?
I was going to say, it's all down to personal taste at the end of the day.
And you could make different bags out of that same fabric, and they would all look so different,
That's
just
right,
in that same design.
Yeah.
So when you've decided which one's which,
you make the block.
Okay.
And you make 4 of these blocks, but you make 2. Oh dear, look, all my threads come through. You make 2 reverse. So you make all 4 in one go.
Oh, okay, right.
But 2 of them are in reverse.
And is that reverse done in the cutting?
Yes, it's in.
Okay.
It's not in the cutting, no, because the cutting's all the same. It's in the triangle placement on your strip, so you end up with sort of reverse pattern.
Nice.
You cut strips, rectangles. They are 2.5-inch wide strips. So if you've got jelly rolls, this front bit, perfect. You know, if you've got some leftover jelly roll strips.
So you could do that as well?
Yeah.
And then you're saving on your fat quarters and your...
Yeah, and you can mix it in with fabrics that you've got. And then you need 2.5-inch wide squares. So it's 2.5 inches by 7.5, the rectangle.
Okay.
And then 2.5-inch squares.
Right.
You mark the diagonal
Uh-huh.
along the square, just from corner to corner, and you do the diagonal on all the squares. I always mark from the middle out when I'm doing the diagonal.
Yeah, this is your thing. I've not heard any other designers say this, but it really makes sense. Now, you're using a mechanical pencil to do this today because it gives you that accuracy. It's like using a normal pencil, but it's for fabric. Marking from the inside out, because when you're working on a diagonal, of course, that's the bias, isn't it?
Yes, and it can stretch. I mean, it probably wouldn't stretch very much, and sometimes when you're working this way, when you come down like that, it puckers up, so your line can go a bit wobbly.
But it's those little hints and tips, isn't it, that just help. And you know, we're all there for a bit of help.
Yeah. So we place that square on the corner of the rectangle, and we sew on the line.
On the line on this one.
And I've marked up all of these squares, and I've placed so on this one, I've got the plain with the pattern. Right,
so my next question is, does that mean that is going to be waist?
Yes.
There.
You're going to get...
could you then sew
What you would do is you would sew 1/2 inch.
1/2 inch and then cut 1/4 inch.
And then cut your 1/4 inch, and you'd have all these little half squares, triangles.
To go into my scrap box.
Yeah.
How are you scrapping yours? Let us know this morning. That's what we need to know. So when you say that you do them opposites when you're doing these, is this the point where you want to sew your triangles in different angles?
Yes.
Or can you just spin it around?
You can't spin it around, as I found. I thought, oh yeah, you just do it all. And
you see, you do it like me, just spin it around, it's fine.
No, it doesn't. It won't spin around. You get a nice variation of a pattern, but it doesn't spin around.
But it's not what's in the book.
It's not what's in the book. So in the instructions, it tells you to do 4 this way and 4 in the opposite direction. It's all very clear, and if you follow it step by step and don't think, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, and just go ahead, you'll be fine. I'm very good at reading instructions and then just going off and doing my own
just doing
bit.
what you think it says rather than what it actually says.
And then afterwards going,
why doesn't that work?
That doesn't
work. Why didn't that work? But sometimes that's the best accidents, and you turn out with beautiful things. Not quite what you'd planned, but still beautiful things. But today we're going to try and end up with,
what we're supposed to.
What we really thought. Brilliant.
So I'm just going to chain piece all of these.
On that diagonal.
On that diagonal line.
Excellent. And this, of course, saving you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And thread as well.
Yes. You do have to be a little bit careful when you're chain piecing on the diagonal, that you don't scrunch it up like I've just done there.
OK.
So sometimes just lift your foot, pull it down, and just make sure that you're positioned again, not right on the point of the corner.
Now you might want to make extra of these using your Kaffe fabric, and this is the beauty, because we've got Kaffe fabric by the half metre. Yes, you heard right, by the half metre. Normally, we just have his fabric in charm packs and fat quarter bundles and things like that. But this fabric we've actually managed to get in by the half metre. Let me show you. Ha ha! Exciting times. So this is raked in blue. And we've got raked in blue for you by the half metre. So it might be that you go, well, actually, I've got, you know, I've got something that I want to go with that. In which case you can buy the components today individually. So £6.95 per half a metre there for your blue raked. I love this one.
That's
and
so
then,
fresh.
you all right?
I think that's so fresh, that blue one. It's just really...
I'm going to show you the orange as well. Because the same pattern, and you're right, one is really fresh, and then one is really warm. And you see, people see different things. I think Kaffe had in mind sort of raked sand, but I see balls of wool.
Yes, that's what I saw.
It's amazing, isn't it, how people see different things just in a change of colour. So £6.95 for your pumpkin raked. There we go. So you've got those two, and then if you want, look at this. That's your gerbera. Gerberas are one of my favourite flowers.
They're so pretty.
They are. I love the fact they go off and do their own thing in whatever direction. My husband said to me, he said, when we were getting married, he said, I don't really mind what the flowers are because I've never remembered the flowers of anyone's wedding that we've ever been to. And I thought about it and I thought, have I ever remembered the flowers from anybody's wedding? And my friend Nancy, when she got married, they had gerberas. They just had massive bowls of gerberas everywhere, and the colour was astounding. Just, I'd never seen anything like it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So this is your gerbera in blue and white. Fabulous flowers. £6.95. All beautiful and available by the half metre. So maybe you've got another project in mind. It's entirely up to you, but get that fabric. Don't miss out on it. Available by the half metre. How are we chaining over here?
We're done.
Yay!
Well,
Perfect timing.
Block. Now, what I did while you were just talking about that gorgeous fabric, I marked ½ inch, and I'll just show you how that works from the...
So as much as the instructions give you the layout for the fabric so that you don't waste any fabric, what Jane has just done here means that you don't waste
even the wastage.
Even the wastage isn't wasted.
No.
And let me just show you what she's done. So
you can see that.
There's your line there that you sew on. That diagonal line from tip to tip, that's sewn on there. But then she's gone ½ inch, can you see, and sewn there. Which means that I'm guessing you're going to cut in between at ½ inch.
Yeah.
And then just have a little sneaky square.
If I do as the instructions say, I will place the ½ inch. Now, these creative grids, they've got a frosted ½ inch.
Yes, they have.
So
They're
it's
brilliant.
perfect to line that up with your line of stitching and know that that's your ½ inch on there.
They've got, with creative grids, you have 2 different ways of measuring. So on the white side here, that gives you your plain inches, and you have a ½ inch, like Jane said, frosted with your non-slip grip. On the other side are your black markings, and they give you 1.5 inches, and the frosting is up to the non-slip grip goes up to 1/2. Brilliant. 9 o'clock is absolutely dedicated to creative grids because we love them so much.
They're very good. They are quilting rulers. They're quilting rulers for quilters. They're just fantastic.
They really know their stuff.
So cutting that ½ inch off, you're left then with this, which is basically scrap.
Yes.
And most people would probably just sling it in the
No,
scrap bin. Other people, like me, would keep it and say, I might be able to use that for something. So if I've done this ½ inch past that one, and then I cut my ½ inch...
I'm just going to grab this so we can do a little compare and contrast.
What you've got now is you've got a little square of half square triangles, which can sew into a border, make a little pin cushion.
Anything like that. And these are what I collect. So in my scrap box, I've got lots of little things like this off projects, and as you do it, it's not a big deal, is it, to just do another line of stitching as you're chain piecing? So instead of having stuff there that you're going to throw away, it's Kaffe, don't throw away any of it. Don't, no. And then you've got all of these, like you say, it could be a border, it could work out being the most amazing scrap quilt from various ones. Yeah. Amazing. So never waste. Well, unless you want to. It's up to you. But
some people might think life is too short, but there you go. you can do what
these
you
ironed?
Like. Yes, they could be impressed.
Okay. I always say ironed, and I mean pressed. Oh, now, hang on. Which iron am I using this morning? The little one. Oh, we've got both on the go this morning. Now, we had this little iron on yesterday, and I have to say, big fan of it. Big fan of the little iron.
I used it for the first time when I was doing a programme with John, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Has it changed your life?
Well,
in a small iron way?
Yeah, in an iron way, possibly.
Changed your ironing needs. It's small, it's portable, you can take it if you... you know, a lot of our guests, they end up doing a lot of their prep in hotel rooms when they get down here, so they can pop this in their bag if they want to take one with them. It is... And not many craft irons. In fact, I've not seen a craft size iron before that is actually steam. This has the capacity for steam as well, which is just brilliant. Janice yesterday made a very good point that actually some more elderly people struggle with the weight of an iron, but still would like to press some of their clothes, in which case that's brilliant because it's so light. And today it's $39.95, but we love it.
Which is perfect for taking to workshops with you as well, so you're not standing in the queue for the iron and the ironing board when you're at a workshop.
It's got a travel bag, it's got a little... obviously wait for it to cool down before you put it in your travel bag, but it comes with the travel bag and its little water filler-upperer. That's a technical term there, Producer Hayley, for you. Filler-upperer. Yeah, no, I'm giving you that technical term. Yeah. Oh, it's also a thingy-bobby. It could also be a thingy-bobby. Producer Hayley and I are full of technical terms for you this morning. Thingy-bobby and filler-upperer. So whilst we prep all of these, what are you doing? Oh, are you doing the reverse over there?
I'm doing the opposite, the opposite side.
So when you do that, is it just a matter... Because we've said you have to do the opposite.
You're putting the triangle... it's not a triangle. You're putting the square in the reverse direction.
Ah, so before we went that way, and now we go the other way.
The other thing as well is to remember when you're doing it is you're not making flying geese, so you're not going to put your next square on with the diagonal going into the middle. You are following it, so they go parallel to each other.
Is this the trouble? Is
Ask
this when
me
you've
how
been...
I know.
Would you have gone on autopilot there by any chance?
Probably, because I'm a bit of a daydreamer when I'm sewing, and I just...
But that's what sewing is for, relaxing, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. It's for relaxing and having a lovely time doing it. And, you know, if that means you end up with an alternative design or some special time with your unpicker...
We love a bit of reverse sewing.
So be it. Sometimes I secretly like it, and I think some of you at home do, when the professionals admit to getting things wrong, because it makes it feel like it's okay. Yeah. Like when I do it, it's like, oh, okay, no, that's fine. We've had guests go wrong. It's normal.
I've just sewn the wrong piece of fabric onto the wrong.
You see, as we say, normal, absolutely fine. Shall I press the other ones?
Let's just trim. Oops, we trim that one off and then press it.
Lovely. So I'm going to have to cut there. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
I'm just checking. Check once, cut twice. No, check twice, cut once.
You can try cutting twice if you like.
Well, only if I've only checked once.
You won't get far.
It works either way. One's more cost effective. Right, let's do it this way. Jane, can you double check I'm cutting this in the right direction?
You are. You're cutting against the sewing line. That's fine.
And I can really say I'm not worrying about where that 1/4 of an inch is because I've got my creative grids. I know that even that little piece of fabric there is staying exactly where I need. You can see how white my knuckles are going trying to move this. It doesn't move. That's why we love creative grids. One of the many reasons that we love creative grids. I'm going to say cutting that way.
That's right, yeah. Place the 1/4 of an inch mark on the line of stitching, which isn't on the mark line, but, you know, we won't.
So which would you like me to cut from?
I would go against the sew line.
OK. And it's things like that I wouldn't know at home, like which way round would I do it? Go with the sew line.
Yeah, because, you know, if you haven't quite got onto the marked line, I don't think you need to stress about it too much. Obviously, if you're like miles away, then you will, because your piecing won't go together. But if it's not exactly on and it's just a couple of threads away, I think by the time you've pressed it and...
Oh, I think you might have run out of thread on that one. It hasn't sewn all the way to the end.
We'll just go over that.
But I can just... But these are all the things that just happen at home, aren't they? There we go.
Yeah. Bobbin running out is one of the banes of my life.
Well, no, it has, hasn't it? Look, it's just done that and it's gone sort of 2/3 of the way down. When you restitch this, you see, this is it, because this throws up other questions that I wouldn't have even thought to ask you. When you restitch that, would you start at the top and just restitch the whole thing, or would you go from where the thread ran out?
I would probably start up there and go down towards where it ran out, and probably just go a little bit over, just so that it's covered.
There you go.
So it's a bit like reverse stitching, but...
And I'll iron these. Tell you what, I'll come and show you the fabrics. Let's show you. Now, so I'm going to start over here with the blue, because something interesting happened this morning, and some sneaky green snuck in, and it should have been flamingo pink. So we've got the gerbera, we've got the raked, and 1/2 metre of the pink, so it will make exactly as the bag that we've made. So that is your bundle with your 2 1/2 metres of Kaffe and then 1/2 metre of flamingo pink. You also get your white thread. You also get, and look how much of this you're getting. You're getting a metre square of this iron-on, because there is the option if you want to also wad the pockets inside the bag. You don't have to, but you've got that option as well. So we've given you enough to cover all of that. There's a lot of that in there. And you've also got the book. So this kit never runs out, because you've also got that booklet in there as well. Now, the other option that we've got, that we're not going to see a lot of today, because we're not making this one up in any way, but it is the poppy. So maybe if you want to have a matching poppy, and that black, and there's your thread, £34.95 there for your red poppy. Now, the difference in pricing is just to do with the fabrics used. That's all the difference is. You're not getting any different amounts of anything. You're still getting the full amounts of everything. It's just the fabric costs. That's all the difference is. Now, here we've got the K. Oh, I love this one. Producer Haley, am I allowed a favourite this morning? This one. Pure and simple, this one. I just love these warm, rich tones. I think they're beautiful. And I think because for me, gerberas are these colours. They just are, those bright, in-your-face colours. So for me, 43, 45, and that is just warm sunshine, gorgeousness, but it's also going to take you into autumn with those colours. 43, 45, TPGC 99. Now, in the kit, you're also going to get the book, but you can get the book separately. So if you've seen a project in the book, you're actually, yeah, no, I need that. Each bag in the book will take up 6 fat quarters. That's why we've given you 3 1/2 metres. It's the equivalent to 6 fat quarters. So if you'd like the book by itself, it's £12.95. Within the book, you get your project, you get the layout for how to cut out on your fat quarters, but you also get a different colourway. So they've done them twice, so it really does give you an idea if maybe you're thinking, oh, hang on, what sort of tones should I play with? How should I work this? For each of the bags, they give you, let me find another page with that. There you go, they give you 2 different colourways. So you see there you've got your blues and there you've got your oranges instead. So it just gives you a different feel if you're trying to work out, what should I do there? Then it's entirely up to you how you work that. So you see again there, completely different. in there. So it's a great learning for using different fabrics as well. As Jane said, you know, if she'd done the kind of the framework in that yellow in the rakes, it would have given a completely different feel. So have a play. £12.95, TWMZ 23 there. £12.95 for your fat quarter bags. Oh, stock warning on the mini iron. You love the mini iron. We love the mini. What? We've only got 3 left. Right. If you need that mini iron in your life, it's a bit good, isn't it?
It's a bit lovely.
And seriously hot.
Yeah, it's a good.
My cast iron
weight
at home
as well
doesn't get that hot. Not even close. That is brilliant. So if you'd love the mini iron, we've only got 3 left now because you've been going crazy for it. £39.95. We will try and get more in at some point. I don't know when that will be. So if you need one, and it looks like a mouse, if nothing else, it's particularly cute.
Yes.
Really cute.
Really quite tactile. It's nice in your hand to hold.
And it does just fit in your hand. Really nice. And it does look like a mouse. Look, it's got a little nose there. And that's where you put the water in, obviously, when it's the right way round. You can adjust the temperature there. You've got your steam. So if you want it to steam, we haven't put steam in because we'll set off the fire alarms and have to come off air. We don't want to do that this morning. And then it tells you when it's at its maximum temperatures. Love it. Oh, so hello. That was quick.
I'm sewing the strips together now.
Right.
You've got the 3 strips, so you've got your accent one in the middle with your pattern either side. So I'm sewing those together just with a 1/4 inch seam.
Beautiful. Now, this is the finished bag. This is the finished item. Here it is. This is most popular this hour. The blue and pink. There it is. That's your flamingo pink. Yeah. 41.45. So you've got your Kaffe there. Actually, he went through a phase of having a real thing for blue and white china. He does like a bit of blue and white. So I wonder if that's where that's kind of come from. Shall I show you in the bag? In the pockets. Why do we get so excited about pockets? What is it? Do boys get this excited about pockets? Cameraman Tom, do you get excited about a pocket? No. Do you want some time to think about that? No, really, he's not interested in pockets. Oh, he's got loads of pockets in his trousers. He doesn't... Yeah, but you see...
Men don't need it.
No, they don't need it, do they?
No.
So it's a great excuse to get your beautiful fabrics out.
Yeah.
Although saying that...
They
obviously,
don't need as much stuff either, do they, men? They don't have to have the
lip gloss
and the everything else and everything for the children and all of that thing. The toys.
I remember my first day out without Freddie shopping, and I had a bag this big, and it just had my credit card, my keys, and my phone. I was like, "There's no wet wipes, there's no nappies, there's no snacks, nothing."
Yeah. Oh, look what I've done. Can you see what I've done? I've sewed it to the wrong side.
Oh, that happens. It's one of those mornings this morning, isn't it?
Must be. There must be something in the air.
I quite like that, though.
Adds a new dimension.
It's another design choice.
What I've done is I've sewn the seams all going one way.
Right.
And on this one, when I've put it right, I'll be pressing the seams the opposite way. Again, so that when we come to join them, it's that interlocking thing that I like, nesting of seams.
Which all helps, isn't it? So this one will go... Oh, hang on. I need to get my bearings now. So that will go...
In the opposite.
There.
Like that, you see.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. OK. And then that will go in there.
And this one, when it's in the right order, will go in there.
Oh, Barbara says it's a beautiful quilt, Jane. And
Thank
a super
you.
book. And she's got it, and she likes to make things from it.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to hear from you. Producer Haley, have we had any scrap messages? Well, I need to know how you scrap. Do you organise it as you go, or do you just have a big bundle in the corner, or just a box of scraps? Or do you throw it away? I don't think that I know anyone that throws anything away.
It has to be a really small piece for me to throw it away. I've got a couple of drawers in the workshop and everything's chucked in there, and then when I need a piece I'm just like rummaging through and I find things and I think, oh, that was a nice fabric, I remember that.
Yeah, and that I think that's what I will end up with, my bag of really small bits that I haven't done anything with. I think English paper piecing is going to be the way.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Freddie started hockey club last week.
Ooh.
3 years old. And he started hockey club. His dad signed him up. Which means that I now have 50 minutes on a Sunday morning when I'm not at work to watch hockey. I hate hockey. So, I mean, I would take some English paper piecing and sit, be there, encouraging and doing something useful.
Right, making sure we've got it in the right orientation.
Yay,
yes,
that's the way.
In the right direction.
Were your boys sporty?
Not so much. Swimming.
Okay. So did you have to sit
poolside? Spent a lot of
poolside?
time poolside. I was into a knitting phase then, so I was the one sitting there knitting, and everybody was like looking at me because people were like,
well, sitting there sweating in the poolside,
yeah.
and you're there knitting things.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Or cross stitch. I take cross stitch sometimes.
So what do you do when you're waiting for your kids? What do you do? Or your grandkids or whatever? That's what we need to know today. There's so much I want to know from everyone. I'm nosy. I like to know what everybody does.
So there we go.
Perfect.
So we'll sew the two together like that. Mm-hmm. And then...
I'm going to press that for you.
Thank you.
So you can do that. There you go.
Sew them together.
Comes together, actually.
Very quickly. I think the most time-consuming with this bag is the cutting out of the pieces.
And is that because you're following the layout to the T to make sure that you don't waste anything?
Yeah, just so you get the most out of your fabric. And it's a good way of doing it because it really does give you the best way of getting the most out of the pieces of fabric. Because sometimes it's very easy to think, oh, right, well, I need so many rectangles, and you cut them, and then you haven't got enough left for your big piece for your lining.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Why did I do that? Why did I do that? No, I know what you mean. We've got 2 different colourways for you. Well, 3 different colourways. 2 different Kaffe colourways. Oh, hang on. Which way did you want the seam to go, Jane? Do you want it the same way?
The same way as that one, if you could. Yes, please.
Right, let's see this finished bag. So that's your blue and pink there, which is your most popular. Now, the one that Jane is busy doing at the moment is this one. So I just had to work out which way round to knock the fabric back to get your seams going in the same direction. Oh, wrong way.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry.
No, it's not a problem.
Oops. Don't give me anything to iron, I'm rubbish at it. Oh, OK, I'll do this one. And then the final colourway is your poppies. There it is. So that is going to be properly eye-catching. Oh, now, Jane, look at that one. The red, the poppy and the black. Which one would you do the lines in and which one would you have as background?
It would be very interesting, wouldn't it, I think, with the poppies as the lines. But again, if you did the black, you could do 3 different bags and they'd all look completely different, wouldn't they?
You know when you, because you sew a lot with your mum, don't you?
Yes.
Morning, Mum.
Well, it's down to Mum again that the binding's on. Bless her, she's my binding queen at the moment.
We love Jane's mum. Friend of the show. And an active member of the show,
yes,
actually, as well.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Are you going to bring her in one day?
I don't know if she'd come, but yes, I bet she'd love to come. But she's very busy. Weekends are a busy time for her because she runs a boarding kennel, so there's lots of ins and outs of weekends.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, OK.
But yes, I'm sure that she would love to come.
Now, Anne in Cheshire says... Oh, and a wonderful long lead with the mini iron, Tash. Longer than my big iron. Producer Hayley, where have you gone? You've gone super quiet. I can't hear you. Look how long this is. I'm just going to dance around you with the iron. Very carefully, health and safety, health and safety. That's how long the lead is. Thank you, Anne. No, sorry, I just need a quick word with my producer. Hey, it's like you've switched your microphone off. OK. It's my talk back. Oh, we can freestyle it. No producer, no director. Anything could happen. All good fun. Oh, hello. No, you're back again.
You got to lose connection.
Maybe. I'll have a little play with that in a second. Ah, yeah, you're back. Hello.
So then we join those along there.
Brilliant.
You could Do it that way. Gives you another effect completely.
Oh, I like that.
You know, just because it says that in the bag, in the book rather, doesn't mean you have to follow it to the letter.
I really like that.
That gives you another effect completely. And if you...
That brings those raked out more, doesn't it?
And if you kept this colour the same, they look like little fishes.
Oh, yes.
You've probably gathered by now I like messing around with patterns, so I'm always like looking at things the other way. I love the way that the fabrics work with each other and make different patterns. You could do it one way on one side and one way on the other.
Oh. Now, you see, if I did that, people would just assume that I'd done it wrong.
Yeah. No, it's never wrong. It's just a different design.
It's just a design choice, yes. I would assume that I'd also done it wrong.
Freestyling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it the right way today.
Do you have a way that you like to work? Do you like to follow patterns, or do you like to get your inspiration from patterns and then freestyle it?
A bit of a combination of both. I tend to start following a pattern and then my mind just sort of wanders off and I think, oh, yeah, you could do this with that. And so I end up with about 5 different design options that I think, oh, yeah, I could make it like this and I could make it like that.
And only
None
time
of
for
which
one.
ever get done,
No.
but they're all there in my head.
Now, these pins, Jane, super fine quilting pins.
Are just divine. They're not too long, they're nice and fine, and they'll sit against your seam.
And they're glass-headed, so if you need to iron them...
Yeah, they'll not melt.
This is where you realise if you don't get them confused with your cheap plastic heads and melt those onto your fabric. These are glass-headed and you can iron over them. And as Jane says, lovely and fine. So if you are working with a beautiful fabric and you don't want to get a pin mark in it, go with super fine there. There they are, $7.95, but they are super fine, super brilliant. I have different pin cushions for different type pins. I try. Sounds like I'm organised, doesn't it? Like in my head.
You've got a fantastic sewing room with everything all
and,
organised
and then,
in the right
and then
place.
there's the muddle. So like part of it is really organised, and then there's the bit I'm yet to sort. Does anybody else have that?
No.
Ah, look at that. Superb. That is brilliant. And actually, you get the start, if you wanted to make this up into a quilt...
That's a beautiful block, isn't it?
And
what would happen, you see, if you do it this way, when you put the next 4 against it, you're going to get that pattern. I don't know if people can imagine that. That would go... So you get this secondary pattern.
But you'd get it in... Which was kind of what you said you wanted.
Yeah, because I think that is the more focal fabric and actually would probably have worked
So it's
better.
like...
I think maybe this linear just fades a little bit into it, so you don't... On the blue one, you can see the pattern, you can see that stripe. It really stands out. I think that was quite Art Deco-y.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And I love the different contrast with the 2 different blues.
Yeah.
I think any which way around it. I think you're right.
It's personal taste at the end of the day, isn't it?
And with the poppies, you could make that 3 different ways and have 3 completely different feels.
And it would look beautiful anyway.
Less than 10 of the blue now. So if you're after this one, please check out your baskets. That is producer Hayley's warning. 41.45. You get everything you need. Just add scissors and your time. And your pins.
And your pins. Yeah.
But you do, because you get your wadding, you even get your thread. I love that we give you thread. It's just one of those little things, but it makes me happy. Yeah. And then, of course, you've got it, especially if you've got it in different colours, for any leftover scraps you've got, or make a design feature of your thread.
Yeah.
So you get your thread, you get your wadding, which is iron-on, and you get that.
Now, with the pattern, it does give you the cutting instructions for the wadding as well.
Yes.
Which is really helpful. Be aware that they've given you the cutting instructions less the 1/4 inch seam allowance, so don't panic when you put your wadding on to iron it on and think, oh no, it's not big enough. Because you're joining seams, you don't really want the wadding in the seam because it just bulks it out. So what the pattern's done is given you 1/4 inch less, basically.
Yes.
So just centre it so that you make sure that you've got your 1/4 inch all the way around.
I quite like that because then it gives me that guide for where I've got to sew anyway.
Right, yeah.
And especially because otherwise, would you square this off?
You could do if you were a super neat person.
But if you've cut your wadding properly, effectively and accurately,
it's going to fit in the middle.
Then it doesn't matter, does it? That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, when you cut wadding, is it okay to do it with your rotary cutter and your grid?
Yeah. I use my rotary cutter and my grid. It's a bit like having a separate rotary cutter for paper. You know, if you were super organised, you'd have a wadding rotary cutter, because it does.
Oh, I take that challenge.
It does blunt your blade quicker, because again, it's a different process of cutting. You've got polyester fibres if you're using polyester wadding, and it does dull your blade slightly quicker than cutting fabric.
Yes.
So I do know quilters that do have separate wadding cutters to fabric cutters.
It's on the list of nice to have. So I have a separate rotary cutter for paper than I do for my fabric.
Yeah.
The rotary cutter, because I know that you always like to know which rotary cutter we've used today, is the Alpha rotary cutter. What we love about this one is the safety factor. So as soon as you pick it up, you squeeze, that engages the blade. So as soon as you let it go, that blade is safe. If you want to reinforce that safety, push the red button and it's locked. So if you're leaving it for any length of time, or if you're just one of those people that just wants, it's a click and there. So it's belt and braces, isn't it?
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be safe. But because somebody said, you know, if they're crafting in the summer in flip-flops and they...
Don't even think, don't. It's horrible.
But as soon as you've let go of that, it's safe.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why so many people use it. Again, tools for the job. The ruler that we've got on down the bottom there, £23.95, is a fabulous investment. Now, this goes up to 24.5 inches. You think normally selvage to selvage, you're looking at about 44 inches. So in half, that's 22 inches. So that gives you a little bit of leeway either end to fold your fabric in half and cut your strips on that fabric, selvage to selvage. That's why this is a fabulous length ruler to have. This is one of the first rulers to get, I think, as a quilter.
Yeah, I think if you've got the 24 by 6, is it 6.5?
Yeah, 24.5 by, yeah, 6.5.
You can do most things with this ruler. It's got the 45-degree line on it. It's got the 60-degree line on it. So, you know, for your half-square triangles and your isosceles triangles, you can get your mark on there. So you can do pretty much all of your different triangles, flying geese, half-square triangles, quarter-square triangles with this ruler. And then it's all there on there.
And then you pick up everything else as a nice to have as and when.
And if you're squaring up, you've got your centre dots.
Oh, it's like a bullseye in the middle.
You can line that up with, I mean, obviously it only goes 3 1/4 either side, but it's still there to work as a centre line.
As that guide.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And of course, when you're cutting any kind of length, a cutting mat is always brilliant. We've got the big one, which is huge. So this one is 90 centimetres by 60 centimetres, and you do have centimetres one side, inches on the other. So whichever way, whether you're dressmaking, working in centimetres, or quilting and working in inches, you just flip it over. Just flip it over. But this means that you can protect whatever work surface you're cutting onto.
Yeah, you can't cut with a rotary cutter without a self-healing mat. You'll just wreck anything that you cut on.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not advisable. Just don't do it.
Don't do it, don't do it. Jane, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So you're going to be back in an hour's time.
Yes.
To show us how to make this.
It's a kaleidoscope block.
Really love it.
It's gorgeous.
Really taken with that.
When I opened the bundle and I was like, gosh, that's a bit... Ooh. But then when you put them together, that blue and that yellow is just... It's really nice. Really lovely.
Happy colours.
Let's pull that thread off.
Look at it. Never stops. There's a quilt. There's a thread. Get that thread. Now, today we have made this 3 different bag kits. So this was the one that we made today. Those beautiful warm colours. 2 of those are Kaffe Fassett fabrics. You've got your raked and your gerbera, and then you've got a linear one there. And this is $43.45. You're also going to get your wadding, your thread and the book. Just under 10 of these left now, so it's super popular. If you would love this bag, if you love these colours, if you just want that happy fabric all year round, grab that. Now, the one that I'm wearing, so much choice. The one that I'm wearing, it's a lovely size. It sits just nicely. There, pop your things in and off you go. It's nicely wadded, it's nicely padded. It does stand up by itself, but that's because we're giving you that wadding and the padding in there as well. Part of the bundle, book, thread, everything. So that is $41.45. Then the last option that we've got for you, completely different, are your poppies. So we've tried to cater for all tastes today. Here we go. So maybe you've bought some of these. Do you want to see this? Because this is the smaller one. When we first bought the poppy fabric to wear, it just went, so we had to reorder it, and it is back in stock now. So if you've bought any of this for dressmaking, then maybe you want a matching bag or something. Then here we go, $34.95, UAGC 55, and that's your poppy fabric. Again, with that black and that red, it's going to be super, super popular. Please check out your basket. Because loads of you sit in with that in your basket. If you want them, please check out your basket. Remember, you can check out as many times as you like throughout the day. We will only charge you one P&P of $2.95. Our P&P is done per day. So if you're new to us, don't worry and think, oh, well, I might want something later. I don't want to incur more P&P. You won't. If in doubt at all, give our customer service call a number. No, number a call. 0800 112 4433. They're here, they're free, have a little chat. Right, coming up next, Lucy Brennan with no voice. See you in just one moment. Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
So today I'm going to be showing you how to sew a satin stitch. This is basically a line of straight stitches covering an area, let's say a petal, and they'll be parallel and adjacent to each other, giving you a nice satin finish. So I'm using embroidery thread, and I do have a knot in the end just for the purpose of this demonstration. So I'm going to be taking my needle from the back to the front of my work, and I'm just going to sew a simple square. So I've done my first line of stitching. And you can see that I'm coming in very close, but not through the same hole that I did before. So my next line of stitching will be parallel to the one I've just created. Just going to keep doing that. There we have our satin stitch.
Following the success of our Christmas in July series, we're bringing the festive spirit back to the Sewing Quarter studio. Join us on the 25th of August for a morning of merry makes featuring guests Jo Carter and Lucy Brennan. With a stack of festive fabrics by their side, Jo and Lucy will show us how to create Christmas quilts, advent calendars and soft toys. Among them is Jo's perky penguin, who makes a welcome return, this time with a seasonal twist. So, join us for this one-day Christmas special, 8 AM to 12 noon on Friday the 25th of August, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Give your wardrobe a handmade upgrade with a little help from Jennifer Mills. On Wednesday the 23rd of August, Jennifer will create a chic outfit over 2 hours. She'll start with a classic blouse with a range of sleeve styles using a classic McCall's pattern. Then she'll fashion a fitted wrap skirt in beautiful enzyme linen. You can recreate this stylish look in a range of colour palettes for a timeless, sophisticated look. And with Jennifer's vast knowledge of all things dressmaking, you're in safe hands. So, join us on Wednesday the 23rd of August at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. for these essential dressmaking demonstrations, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Good morning, welcome back. Now, this hour is all about creative grids. Lucy Brennan, if you saw her yesterday, you'll know she's lost her voice. It was absolutely fine, but she has lost her voice. We told her to go home. She's we've tried to send her home, but she's saying no. So she will come on. I'm not going to make her do a whole show. We're giving her lots of honey and lemon and all that kind of thing. She will come on and just demonstrate, but just bear with us because she doesn't want to go home. She wants to come and do the show. So we'll see what we can do. But this is all about your creative grids. We love them for many, many reasons. They're a UK company. They're a family company. And they are quilters. They design rulers for quilters. So as quilters themselves, they understand the needs of quilters. A lot are designed by the husband and wife's daughter, Rachel Cross. You'll see the name of the designer of the ruler on there. But they also send out to international quilt designers to create different rulers for different effects. And that's the joy of it. So it gives you precision cutting, accurately, safely. Each ruler has a non-slip grip on it, so that embedded into the plastic so that it really doesn't move. When you see us use them, you'll see, earlier I had white knuckles trying to move the ruler. It was not budging, which means firstly you save fabric, secondly you're safe. Or the other way round, depending on which way round. Safety first. Safe, and then you don't waste any fabric. So we've got different rulers for different purposes. Obviously, it would be lovely to have all of them. You know what kind of quilting you do. You know what effects you want to do. I know a lot of you are building up your stash, so we wanted to give you this hour to have a look, and because maybe you've looked on the website and gone, oh, there's quite a few to choose from. Not sure where to start. So let's try and demystify what does what in this hour. I've also got a quick quilt with rulers book for you this hour, and the reason that I mention this is because the first ruler that I'm going to show you is in the book. Oh yes. So if I show you the book very quickly, this is Quick Quilts with Rulers. And the quilt behind me is from this book. This is written by award-winning Pam and Nicky Lintott. So they have their own quilting shop, but they design, and a lot of the times they work with pre-cut fabrics. But here they've shown you how to get your rulers out and get involved with your rulers. So what we've got for you, here we go, there we go. We've got this one for you, which is 2 peaks in one, using this particular ruler. So if you're after this particular ruler, I'll show you the picture for it. We haven't got it in the flesh in the studio. We had to have a bit of a change around this morning because of Lucy's voice. But if you want to get this book and you want to then make and look at all of these quilts, all of these made using that ruler, then the ruler that you need is this one, that particular ruler. And the details for that, £20.95. And what is really beautiful about this book is that when you get it, let me show you this page here, because it will take you, if that's your very first Creative Grids ruler and you're unsure how to use it, look at this, step-by-step instructions onto how to use that very ruler so that you can, how clear is that? Beautifully clear. And then you can create, hang on, if I can actually manage to turn the page, that quilt. And that quilt. Again, step-by-step instructions. And that quilt. Oh, producer Hayley loves that one. All using this same ruler. That ruler making all of these quilts. So what Pam and Nicky have done with this book, they've taken 3 Creative Grids rulers and given you so many different ideas as to how to make different quilts. Again, that one using that very same ruler and that one. It's all using that same ruler. So if you're after some inspiration, you've got the ruler, you're not quite sure what to do with it, all of these using that very same ruler. Full instructions as to how to... Look at that. Stunning. And so this book is going to be in the next hour, but it might sell out in this hour. So if you want to make the kaleidoscope, and you'll notice this one behind me, then that is out of this book. Okay, so you kind of need to be ahead for next hour because we've brought this book forward because of Lucy's voice. And we move into the next creative grid, which will be on the following show. So I'm not going to give away too much. But the next creative grid is this one, which is your flying... Now, you see, do you call it a flying geese? But if you've only got one, is it a flying goose? I never know. I never know. Maybe you can tell me. So that's your flying geese template. And that one we have here in the studio. And this is the ruler to make your flying geese superb. So it's £22.45. You'll notice this little bit that I always threaten to get my finger stuck in. This bit here, that means that when you're cutting along that line there, your rotary cutter goes all the way up. It's little details like that. Let me show you as well. You'll see, as we mentioned on the earlier show, this bit here, where it's kind of opaque, this is your non-slip grip. This is embedded into the actual Can you have fibres in plastic? But, you know, the actual body of the plastic. So that doesn't come out, it doesn't wear out, it doesn't rub off, it doesn't fall off. That is your non-slip grip. And so even if you're just cutting an inch tall flying goose, you've got great grip because that goes all the way up to there, giving you absolute security as you cut. And then you've got, it tells you, if you're cutting along there, you've got a 1.5 inch strip. So it goes into all those details. On each ruler, you will get this, which gives you just a couple of design ideas. If you are super modern and up to date and you have a QR reader on your phone, scan that in. That will take you straight to videos on how to use this, ruler. Watch the shows by all means as well. But also, if you're doing that, don't worry, because when you get these, they'll have full instructions with them and details on where to get hold of those videos if you don't have one of those QR readery things. So they've got it covered for everyone, whatever level of IT you're at. You're covered, you're sorted. So with this flying goose ruler, geese ruler, goose ruler, with this ruler, you can make out of this book all of the quilts coming up next, which is really rather stunning. So down the bottom of the screen, you've got, look at that. Brilliant. You've got the details for the book, and on the side of your screen, £22.95 is the creative grids that makes these that we're seeing right now. All of these, with that one ruler. Just fab. I love that one. How about that one, Producer Hayley? It's gorgeous, isn't it? So there they are. Oh, look at that. Some of these really intricate, aren't they? Oh, I love that one. Now, Pam is based down in Cornwall, I believe. And so, you know, I'm not surprised that a lot of these are inspired by sort of coastlines and things like that. All of those with your flying geese. You also have templates in the back as well to use if you don't have those creative grids. But of course, the easiest way is using the right tools for the job every time. So £15.95 grabs you your book, and then for that particular ruler, and then we'll have the kaleidoscope ruler in the next hour. So if you love that quilt, that ruler is going to be out of this book, the quilt's out of this book, and the ruler's on the next hour. We've got so many. It's all about creative grids today, really. Templates, how to use them. Lovely. Lots of ideas, lots of inspiration today. So that's that. The other thing to mention that so many of our guests use is, of course, the rotating mat. This is one of Producer Hayley's favourites. And let me just show you why it is so important. So, for example, if you're cutting a piece of fabric, you always want to cut away from you, always. So I want to cut away, but my fabric is there and it's ready to be cut. If I want to cut there, I'm going to be dangerously cutting towards myself or awkwardly trying to cut in that direction. No. All I would do, spin it round, cut with ease, again, in that opposite direction. And that is why not only is this a brilliant piece of kit to have, but it's about safety. It's about getting the accuracy on your fabric. You're not having to disturb your fabric, move it around, try and line everything up again. Just simply pop your fabric on there, ruler on top, cut, spin, cut, done. It's safe, quick, and you get the best results. So that's $32.95. Maybe you're looking for Christmas gift ideas. There we go, that's a great one. My new aim is to buy one creative ruler per month, says Jane in Cheshire. Do you know what, Jane? You're not alone. We get lots of messages, and thank you for your message. That was from Anne. That was from Jane's Hour. Okay, it's from Anne, sorry. And then she's right. We kept there in the end. It's one of those mornings this morning. I hope you're having a good morning this morning. Right, so that is your rotating cutting mat. And a lot of our quilters will ask for this. And another thing to mention, it does come into two parts like that. So don't worry if you get it and you go, I've broken it. No. That bit there slots into that bit there. Bing, like that. And this bottom bit is got a non-slip finish on it. So it is meant to come apart. That's what allows it to rotate. So don't think you've broken it, because that's what I did. I am a little bit heavy-handed, it's fair to say. And I did think that I'd broken it, and then, right, okay. Next up, where do you start? Now, in the last hour, we showed you a 24.5 inch by 6.5 inch ruler, and we said that's a great place to start if you're cutting strips. But it can be quite unwieldy when you start to cut smaller amounts. So this was, and I can talk personally here, this was where I started with this. So this one is your 6.5 by 12.5 inch ruler. Now, this is the brilliant thing about creative grids. Down one side are the white numbers. That's pure inches. Okay? And as we were able to use very easily in the last show, where you've got your inches down there, opaqued out with your non-slip grip is 1/4 inch. So you can just line up the opaque and you've got there a little dotted line there. That gives you your 1/4 inch. Now, if I spin it like that, then you've got your black numbers down here, and your black numbers are giving you 1.5 inches. So if you're cutting for, say, a finished 10-inch piece, you'd cut on that 10.5 inch line. But that means, look, that opaque bit there goes up to that bit, and that is 1/2 inch. So if you ever need just a quick reference for 1/2 inch, it's opaqued out on that side with your extra 1/2 inch. It's been really well thought out. You've got, of course, your 45 and 30 degree line on there as well. So you've got all of that. You've got it in white, you've got it in black, you've got it there to show up. You've also these circular bits, so your non-slip grip as well. This is a brilliant place to start. And there's your sort of crosshairs there if you're trying to center something absolutely completely. You've got that on there as well. Brilliantly designed, perfectly thought out, $17.95. It is a great investment. We've got several guests actually here who are saying, well, actually I've had other rulers and now I'm replacing with creative grids, because they've come on the shows, they've used them and gone, hang on, this is so much easier, it's so much safer. Actually, it gives me a far better cut, a safer cut, and that's what you want. Now, maybe you want to go with cutting more strips, in which case this one is a fab one to go for. This is a 3.5 inch by 18.5 inch ruler. And again, you know, maybe you've got a topic in mind, maybe you've got a quilt in mind, and that's what you're after. Again, you've got inches one side in the white, 1.5 inches in the black. Very visually striking. So it's always very, very clear what you're doing. 19.95 for this one, 3.5 inches by 18.5 inches. You'll notice on the screen on the details, we have to give it you in centimetres. There isn't a single centimetre on these. These are quilting rulers and they're all in inches, but legally we have to give you centimetres first. That's the law, that's the crazy world we live in. Right, let's talk rotary cutters, because we've got 3 different ones for you. We had questions yesterday, what rotary cutters do we use and why? I showed you the Alpha one, and again, it's just about choices. What feels right for you, what sits right in your hand. What we very rarely bring you, though, in terms of rotary cutters, is something of this size. If you're cutting through large amounts of fabrics, maybe you're cutting lots of strips for, you know, some sort of 2.5 inch design roll or something like that, you're cutting those up yourself, then this is a 60mm blade. From Clover, you've got your soft grip there, so not only does it feel safe and it grips well, but it's soft in your hand, and then you just pull that back, open, cut. Now you can adjust how tight you want the blade there. You can spin it around if you're left-handed as well. $24.95 for that one. But if you're cutting large amounts of fabric, go with a big blade, make life easy for you. And also if you're cutting through lots of layers as well, that's a great option. Now, the one that you'll see us use a lot on the show is your general 45mm one, and that's this one. And again, we had this on yesterday. You've got that soft grip on there, pull back, and then it is, that thumb bit there is instinctively where you need it. Pull back, cut, push down. It's caggy-handed because it's upside down to show you, but there we go. $14.95, and that is for your 45mm. And this is from Clover, so a nice trusted brand, and again, you can spin that blade around. And then, if you're doing iddly-biddly bits, and we don't often bring these to air, so let me just show you the tiddly tiny. Now this one is 18mm, I do believe. We'll get those details in a second. So if you want to grab this one, it's 28mm, sorry, I knew there was an 8 in there somewhere. £10.95. If you're doing intricate, tiny pieces, this is the one that you need. And again, that safety catch on there for you, and off you go. £10.95. And that's the 3. And of course, if you have all 3, if you have more than one rotary cutter, we were saying in the earlier hour, maybe you have one for paper cut, one for cutting your foam. Why not have a little stand to put them all in and have them labelled? That would be super organised, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. So if you want to grab the stand today, and again, you know, it all goes, the colours will go with the Clover. It's made by Clover, and then you've just got them all wrapped up, lined up if you want to, like that. Diddly-diddly-dee, there they are. Good to go, nice and safe, you know exactly where they are, $9.95, and they just all sit in there. A treat. Now, we'll go through the other rulers that Lucy's going to show us, and then we'll get her on. We're trying to save her voice, okay, but she is going to work with these rulers with us in just 1 minute. So let me just show you very quickly. Here we go. Actually, this is brilliant because this shows you the packaging. When you get these, and this one is your half and quarter square triangles from strips. Non-slip multi-size 45 and 90 degree triangles. $19.95. This natty piece of kit, when you get it, they come with these. Do not throw this away, because when you open it up, it shows you how to cut, how to use them. It shows you exactly how to use it. And then down the bottom, in the black and the red, gives you different design choices, different ideas, and more details on the back there as well. So don't throw that away. So that, Lucy's going to mime us through that in a minute. She's just come in. Are you all right, love? Yeah. And then we've got the double strip ruler with your half square triangle. This is a bit of a beast, isn't it? It looks like waves. Woo! This is $24.95. If you watched yesterday's shows, you'll have an idea that actually what this is doing is multi-cutting for you. So as you cut up there and down there and up there and down there, not only have you cut 2 of your triangles, you've cut another one there. So in one go, you're cutting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in one go as you work your way through. Plus, you've then got this part of the ruler here, which allows you to cut strips. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant piece of kit. WSCQ82. It looks weird, but it's wonderful. And you can see on here just some of the different ways in which you can use it. That's going to be hours of fun. You know how we just get carried away and sit there and go, oh, you could turn it around here and do this bit here. And what if you did a darker colour there? Lots of fun with this one. And then, I think this might be my favourite one on the show today, just because of its pure brilliance. This crazy piece of kit. Now, $44.95. You might gasp at that price, but my word, is it worth every single penny. Because what you'll notice at the top here is like a little teardrop shape. There. So that is your inch, and then you've got at a 1/2 inch mark as well. So you slot your rotary cutter in there and you cut. So you cut 1/2 inch in 1/2 inch increments. So if you've got a piece of fabric that you're cutting up for strips or whatever, pop it, fold it, pop it over the top, rotary cutter in, and then you just perfect cut every time. Now down the bottom here, I don't know if you can see, you've got little stars and squares. Now that star, every time there's a star on this grid, you don't have to do any maths, you know that that will give you a 1.5 inch cut. So if you've got your fabric laid out underneath, you cut every time there's a star and you're cutting yourself 1.5 inch strips. Now the squares give you 2.5 inch strips. They're the regular sizes, aren't they? So there, every time you cut there and there and there's no maths, you just cut where there's a square, and that is giving you 2.5 inch strips as you cut through your fabric. That's brilliant. But actually, I wanted 2.5 inch squares. Fine. Pick it up, turn it around, line it up with where those cutting marks were, cut again, and then you get your squares. Brilliant. You might be cutting it then just at 5 inches, so you might just be cutting 5 inches. It's entirely up to you. You've also got your 45-degree line, so if you're cutting triangles, you've got that, so that you can line that up and then cut. Absolutely superb. What a great piece of kit. $44.95. That is definitely on my need list. HBCQ38. Now, we started off first thing on this show showing you the book and the 3 rulers that coordinated with the book. Now, you're going to have to be quick for this book, please, because I don't want anybody missing out on this. So this is Quick Quilts with Rulers by Pam and Nicky Lintott. And this uses specifically Creative Grids rulers. $15.95. So the first ruler that it deals with here is this ruler. Your multi-size one there, and I'm sure we'll get the details in for that in just one moment. Any second now, I'm sure. Are we getting the details in, Producer Hayley, for that one? Coming in any second now. Yeah, we'll get that in for you. But these are the quilts that you can make with that. There we go. So that's your stargazing, all with that one ruler, all of these quilts. There we go. You can always look on the website to find that. I'm going to skip over the kaleidoscope ones because we're going to deal with that next hour because we've got Jane's quilt with that. And then the other ruler is your flying goose ruler, the geese ruler. These are all now on the website underneath where we're live. So the first one is your... is that one, details now on the screen, £20.95. And then your flying geese ruler that you need for all of the ones at the back, We'll get you those details up in just 1 second. So if you want to make that, you need this ruler, 22.95. Now I spy someone out the corner of my eye. I spy with my little eye something beginning with Lucy Brennan. You crazy lady. Why are you not at home tucked up? So the art of mime, all good? Yes, excellent. Now I know you wanted to show us how to use these. So the way we're going to work it, Lucy's going to do the cutting. I'm not going to ask you how you are, because you're all right in yourself, though, aren't you? Absolutely. Are we like Laurel and Hardy? Is that effectively what's going on here? Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. So, you get your fabric. Does it matter how many times it's folded? No, as you like. There's a lot here.
It could be any size.
So any size you like. You've just raided our scrap bin, haven't you? I can't believe that's actually in a scrap bin. So this will have been left over from a design, and in it goes. Now, yeah, I will just reiterate, Lucy wants to be here. We didn't make her. We did try and make her go home. We did, didn't we? Like, you're not here under duress or anything. I was perfectly happy to do the show on my own, but you insisted.
Yes.
Okay, before we get floods of emails saying, you're mean, send her home.
No.
We did try. She's a force to be reckoned with. It's true. So line it all up. And then these teardrops, or pears, whatever you want to call them, are ready for you to slot your rotary cutter into. So you can... So which bit do we line up where? So the base of the fabric, and if it's folded, you're going to fold that again. Yeah, here we go. So do it on the fold line, and there's a white base line there. So if you want to line up that white base line there, can you see that? That's what she's lining up with the fold. Then that allows you to slot your rotary cutter in there, because there's a bit of wobble there. Of course there is, because it's wider for you to, you can see my nail going, whee! But as soon as it hits past that white line, it's in the groove and it's going to cut perfectly. So you line it up to that white line down the bottom. Are we going to cut? Yeah, yeah. Karen in Staffordshire says, good morning, Natasha, and lovely guest this morning. Just had to order my 7th creative grids. They make life so much easier. Absolutely brill. This is what we find. And actually, I love the fact that we've had guests who've come in and said, well, yeah, it's your fault. You're costing me a lot of money because we're having to replace all of the rulers they already had. Now, you were lucky, weren't you? You actually found creative grids before you invested in anything else. So they were there for you from the start, which is fab. Now, we've also had a message. It might come through in a minute, which will come through, I'm sure, in its own time. It's one of those mornings. So you folded it again so that we're now going to cut all the way through. And you can, look, you can cut through, you can go back through, because that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes, if it doesn't go through in one thing, then you're like, oh, am I going to get such a neat cut if I have to do that again? But you've got that non-slip grip all the way through, so you can go back through, you can cut through. In fact, you could probably use your larger rotary cutter if you needed to go through multiple layers. Now, Lucy's pointing out here that she's going to cut us a 2.5-inch grid. Hey, we're quite good at this miming business. This square here denotes a 2.5-inch strip, and you'll see there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. So if your maths is a bit wonky and you don't want to have to work out 2.5 plus another 2.5 gives me 5 plus another 2.5 gives me 7, don't, just cut where there's a square. That's easy, which is brilliant. So then you can just keep cutting those 2.5-inch strips. Done. Brilliant.
I'm going to do it quickly.
You're going to do it quickly. Speed cutting. Here we go. Ready, steady, cut. Da, 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 and she's off. Look at this. There's no realigning of the ruler, nothing like that. Just pops it in and off she goes. She might not be able to talk, ladies and gentlemen, but my word, she's a whiz with a rotary cutter. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Brilliant. Brilliant. Wow. I'm going to ask you to keep that there and spin it around. You needed to put that on a rotating cutting mat. Ah, if only we'd got one sitting there. Now, line this up again. Again, not past that initial bottom white line. But spin your fabric round if you've got it on a rotating cutting mat. Perfect. Do your magic, Lucy Brennan. Line it up with 0. Yes.
Just trims off any of them.
Oh, just okay. So the 0 one trims off any. So if you've got it on a fold, and you don't want that fold, if you just line that up there, 0 will take off any folded fabric. This is brilliant. This ruler. This is absolutely fab. Everything is thought about because they are quilters making rulers for quilters. They've thought about the fact that you might have folded your fabric to make life easier and quicker. They've thought about all of that and they've done it for you. They've made life easy. If only everything in life were this easy. Are you ready to be stunned, staggered and amazed, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that. All 2.5-inch squares. Now, we had Liberty 2.5-inch squares yesterday, and I said, actually, I wouldn't want to be bothered to cut out small 2.5 inches. But now you've done, look at how many. I mean, it's like confetti. It's like 2.5-inch confetti everywhere. So you've got all of these. And hang on, how many in one go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 squares in each of those. Or if you wanted, that's brilliant. 2.5-inch. Oh, Diane says, Lucy Brennan, what a star. Hope you're feeling better soon, says Diane. And there's a message from Francis. No, says, can you use any rotary cutter in there?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to stress again, Lucy doesn't feel poorly in herself. She just has no voice. Like, you don't have a temperature, nothing like that. No, she's absolutely fine. We did check. It's just she's got no voice. She left it somewhere. We don't know where. So producer Hayley wants that ruler, so you need to be quick so that producer Hayley doesn't. Mind you, she'd only need one. That is superb. Also, oh, you can do other size squares as well. So what Lucy's going to show us next. So line it up. If you want to, you just go to 0 to size things up, and then you've got the black lines denote favourite sizes: 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, and so on. So it takes you up to 12-inch squares. So maybe you're maybe you're squaring off. Ah, yeah, yes. She loves that idea. Or maybe you just want to do a plain patchwork. Oh, you want a fussy cut as well? You can see through. But this is excellent. This is truly excellent. And also, if you wanted to cut through and do your triangles, you just spin it around and line up on that line there. Nice. You're going to cut us a 3-inch square there. So, cuts through the 0, cuts through the 3, spins it around, lines it back up again. So you line it up on that black line there, because that's your 0 line there. Cut. And look at that. Ta-da! Perfect! Yay! This makes us so happy. I've got numerous wonky quilts at home where I've tried to cut my own squares. Not great at cutting, and sometimes they go wobbly. This takes the wobble out of your cut. This is the easiest way in life to get rid of wobble. No gyms needed. Oh, we've had another message from Jennifer in Warwickshire. Says, there's a song running through my head, Lucy. It's called Dedication. Brilliant, says Jenny from Warwickshire. She says thank you. Producer Paul yesterday was trying to recall any kind of sign language he'd ever remembered ever, and I think he decided that was thank you. Yeah. There you go. Brilliant. Producer Hayley, it's that. Thank you. Have you not watched Mr. Tumble? Yeah. Oh, she knows what it is, what tree is, which is really helpful on a sewing show. Plus the fact we can't see her. Even better. Now you're going to cut off the selvage.
And just trim it.
And trim it down. Yes. So again, into 0, and we cut. This is one of the best things I've seen for ages. They tidy up your scraps. Well, this is what we were saying. Nobody's bothered to email in about how they scrap. Oh, you did have a few, but producer didn't tell me. She's keeping it a secret. She's a secret scrapper. Em says she's got boxes of scraps, which she needs for a plique or anything like that. She just rummages through and it's there. But you see, brilliant. If you've got your scraps and you're an English paper piecer, then you've got that. Cut down. The brilliant thing okay, so if you need 2.5-inch squares in your life because you watched Lucy's show yesterday, perfect. And actually, you cut those down even further, didn't you?
You can do
so you could just do 1.5-inch. Anything you like.
And it does quarters if you like.
Oh, it does quarters as well if you line it up. Oh, yeah, no, let me show you this. I'll show it you on my hand here. If you line it up with the thick black line, then you get it dead on 1 inch. But this is Creative Grids. They know that we want 1/2 inch.
No, that's
that
inch or a half.
Oh, that's 1/2 inch. That's 1/4 inches. So if you line it up on that and you want 1 1/4, then you'd line it up there. That gives you that extra 1/4 inch. And then when you cut on the 1 1/2 inch line, you'd get 1 3/4. That's brilliant. That's more well thought out than I originally thought. It's better. Karen says, correction, just ordered my 8th. Just need to know what degree triangle does the 2 peaks make. 45 degree angles there on that one. But we've got another one coming up next hour, which does the kaleidoscope one. Karen, it might be 9th next hour. We'll show you that one in a minute. Jennifer's emailed in. She says, you northern, us northern lasses, I think she means her and you, because I'm clearly not northern, are made of sterner stuff. I couldn't pass for northern, could I, at all? I don't have gravy on my chips. No, do you?
Vegetarian.
Oh, you're vegetarian. Could you not have, like, bouillon gravy or something? No. Mayonnaise? Ketchup? Ketchup. Curry sauce? Deep fried Mars bars. No, that's Scottish, producer Hayley, deep fried Mars bars. You've gone over the border. She's getting very northern. It's producer Hayley.
That is 2.5.
Oh, that's 2.5 inches?
2
2.25 inches. So, in order to do that, let me show you what you did. Oh, in fact, you can show us because your hands still work. I forget. It's just the voice. Can I do voiceover work after this? Is your husband thrilled? There's going to be...
He said eek.
He said eek. Brilliant. And what did the kids say? We can do anything we like, you can't tell us off. Amazing. So line it up to that 1/4 inch, and then whatever you're cutting, you're adding 1/4 inch on. So if you cut on that 2 inch line, you're cutting 2 1/4 inches. Creative Grids, rulers made by quilters for rulers. For rulers, for quilters. And both, yes. Nearly half the stuff has gone on this. Who knew rulers could be so exciting? And yet, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I thought one of my favourite things was the Fiskars rotary cutter for the circles. It might have just overtaken as my favourite thing. You do use strips for so many things, but it's also, you cut your strips, spin it around, and then you cut your patchwork squares, or your rectangles, or your triangles. Thanks. Right, next up. And of course, would be super, super brilliant to use with your rotating cutting mat as well, because then you're not having to reposition your fabric. Strips, anyone? Now, next one, because Karen wanted to know about this. So, this is your double strip 45-degree ruler. The way that this works is it's going to give you half square triangles, okay, because it's 45 degrees and obviously 2 of those would make up 90 degrees, end of the maths lesson. But as you cut along this strip here that we're about to make, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles as you cut over the mountain peaks. You can get more?
Yeah.
She's going to show us. So 2 strips, cut 2.5-inch strips, right sides together, and then sew your seam. So 2.5 inch, so that's going to give us 5 inches, then a 1/4 inch seam allowance takes that down to a 4.5 inch strip. Finished strip is what we're getting. And what you'll notice here on this ruler is that it says here 4.5 inch strip. And what you'll also notice is if you are cutting 2.5 inch strips as we've just cut so beautifully using our strip ruler, sew them together and you'll notice this line in the middle here. Firstly, you've got all of that non-slip grip there, but this line here is going to mark that halfway line. So if you are cutting 2 strips that you've sewn together, then mark that is on your halfway line. So you can check the positioning of your fabric. It's brilliant. Would you like me to iron that open for you? In a second. Yes, please. Yes. Okay. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So I'm going to iron this open and then show you exactly what we mean by this. God, it's a good job I pay attention when you bring us these grids, isn't it? Whew. So you've cut your strips with your stripology over half of that stock now gone, ladies and gents. Please make sure. Oh, was this in the scraps as well? Please make sure that you grab that. I bet we have got the best scrap box. But, Producer Hayley, when we were at Festival of Quilts, we used up a lot of our scraps because we made all those little English paper piecing things out of the scraps off the shows, which was lovely. There's not many left. Oh. Well, that's good in a way. You rummaged. Get your head in and have a good old scrabble about. Good job. Fun. You see, while we're on air, all this is going on backstage. Lucy rootling through things. Rootle. I bet you made a lot of noise then, didn't you? Yes. And a mess? Made you make a mess out there as well? Yeah. That's all right. So when you've done this, are you waiting for me to... Okay. Okay, so when you've done that, you've got 2 strips. 2 4.5-inch strips. So you can use it just on there, like that, and hello, doubling up. And of course you can, because you've got that non-slip grip. So you can safely do it. So lay it on top like that. Does it matter which way around you lie them? Nah. Well, depends on the design as to how you lay them out. Now, on the ruler here, you'll see you've got a full line, a straight line there. Line that up with the base or with the bottom of your fabric. You'll know you've got it right because this top bit here, where they've cut off the dog ears, will lie flush. So if you line it up on here where it shows you where the grain is, if you line it up there, then you'll notice that actually, here we go, you've got gap. So you don't want a gap. If you've cut it to 4.5 inches, then as soon as you line that up there, you'll be in the right position. And then look, there's your line there, lining it up on the middle. And you've got a bit of wiggle room when you've cut your strips. So do give it a little wiggle. Give it a little wiggle. Line it up. Hey, up, she's ready to go. Should we have done this on the rotating cutting mat? No, we're okay. You can do it all. Here we go, off she goes. Cutting. Pressing down. You've got triangular non-slip grips in these. And you'll notice that as she cuts, it's going into that weird little bit there that looks like a keyhole gone a bit wrong. That means that your rotary cutter rotates all the way down. Yes. Now, I would say this was made for a 45mm rotary cutter. So if you're using a larger one, I don't know. We haven't tried the larger one in it. Maybe we should have done. Can we try it? Can we just? It wouldn't do it. So use your 45mm rotary cutter for that, because we did have a question about what size. Hello. So from that, yay! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? How quick and easy was that? So we can start to do all sorts of different designs. That's fab. Oh no, hang on. Which way around? Oh, you do it. We've got a message from Rachel in the West Midlands who says, sorry Lucy, but this hour is making me laugh so much. That's the Laurel and Hardy aspect, I think. But you are brilliant. And Jeanette said the same. She said, sorry about Lucy's voice, but you are making me laugh so much. Maybe you've missed your calling. Maybe mime artist was where you needed to be in life. Award-winning director Mike says that we look like Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. I don't think that's a thanks. I don't think that's... Award-winning director Mike, you might just be demoted to just Mike.
Extra bits.
Oh, extra bits. Just keep going. If you want some extra bits, then just keep on cutting and off you go. You just wanted that so that you could just finish off, didn't you? Yeah, because you're a bit of a perfectionist. And see what you can get at. Oh, yeah, spin it around. What else can you make? Oh, not quite. But you could bring it down and just do little mini ones. Iddly diddly mini ones. Because, guess what? We don't like waste. No. That's brilliant. And so your quilts can come together quickly, safely, cost-effectively, time-effectively. Brilliant. And you've got the ruler as well. Yeah, producer Hayley, you'd have to mark out your fabric and do all sorts of fancy schmancy things. But you've also got all of these different design choices in here as well. Oh, you can do borders as well. Whilst you do... Hang on, let me grab this while you do borders. You've also got here... This allows you... So this is primarily for doing two-tone strips as triangles. That's what this is for. So on this strip ruler here, you've got your 2.5 inches... Well, actually, it goes across... 2.5 inches. So that's your 2.5 strip ruler. So you can line it up. So if you don't have any other rulers, you can still absolutely do that. So use that ruler to cut your 2.5 inch strips, sew them together, iron them, and then technical turning. Oh, look at this. Nice. And just play. Just play. Have fun with it and play. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We've got 10 minutes. What do you want to show us in 10 minutes? It's all right. I'll sort that out over here. The flying geese one is going well as well. But, oh, hang on. No, she's prepped for something else, producer Hayley. Oh! Nice. So this one is for your 45 and 90 degree triangles. I'm loving this. That's Amy Butler, isn't it? So you've managed to find some Amy Butler and some of our linear blue. Works a treat. You are good at rooting through. Good job. Top rooter. And mime artist. All these skills that you never knew you had. You see, sometimes in the face of adversity, you just find new strengths. Brilliant. Now this ruler, 90 degree and 45 degree angles. What size strip are we cutting to start off with? So this was a 5 inch. Now with the ruler, you can see on here that you've got inch, 2 inch, you've got 1/2 inches in between as well. But so you can cut You can line that up and cut anything from sort of a 1/2 inch triangle onwards. So, and it goes up to a 5.5 inch triangle. So if you've got a 5 inch strip of fabric, 4.5 inch, line it up with a 4.5 inch. So you know because you've got that line up there that you've lined everything up correctly. So there's your 4.5 inches that we're going with. Oh, so if you go from 4.5 inches, then you're not going to have the dog ear bit. You've cut that off. Perfect. And so you get going. But of course, what we know is that we should have done this on the rotating one.
No, we should have. I'll do it. Oh, we've got it.
It's here.
I didn't know we had it.
Oh, no, it's there. Yeah, no, that's what I meant. Did you want it? It's there.
Yes.
Yes, yes, always. This is always on your wish list. You know it is.
I love it.
Yeah, look, there she goes. Spin, 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 spin. I did wonder why you were turning down the chance to rotate. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's all good. And so look, instantly. There we go. Easy, easy peasy. They are your 90-degree triangles. Done. Perfect. Perfect every time. Easy. Hang on, that's bigger. Because I need to spin it around like that. Yeah. A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So you've got little diagrams as to what you can do with it as well. Never, ever, ever throw away your packaging. So when you get the packaging, always keep that as a reference. This is great. And so you could do like a smaller version. Not that you're ill. That's not great. I was having fun with the fabric. Just like to clarify before anyone says you're not ill. You just got no voice.
Yeah, got no voice.
Now,
let's see.
which way? Oh, design options. But you could do like is it sawtooth? Pinwheel. Oh, pinwheel. Hello. I had some kind of shark tooth affair going on down the side. Is it called a shark tooth? No. It is now. I'd like to write an alternative book of quilting names because I see different things.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that sounds weird. But yeah, designed by Tash, a book no one wants. But you could do a border, couldn't you? And because if you wanted to do a thin border with little ones, because this is a multi-size grid, you could do just idly biddly triangles. Technical term, idly biddly. Yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go. A more idly biddly. Okay. So you've lost the ability to speak. I've lost the ability to say anything with correct grammar. What a pair! Excellent. Good morning, welcome to the Sewing Quarter. We are a professional outfit.
Honest.
Honest. You don't. Oh, spurn our rotating cutting mat. No, she loves it. She loves it. You just don't need it right now. What are we cutting now? 45-degree.
So we're doing.
Hang on, 90-degree.
90-degree.
But.
So I've stacked them all.
So you've stacked them all up, all your strips.
And this is a 3.
And this is giving you a 3-inch.
And
again, you've got the dog ear coming off on the end there.
Just to line
it up. Helps you line it up. Make sure that you're exactly where you need to be. Yeah. And then get cutting. Yeah.
So
oh, nice.
Stack them up as well. You know,
stack them up, spin it round, and then cut again. So your prep time really comes down, and then you can get on with the thing that you love, which is the sewing of it. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, hello. Nice. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. So rather than having to cut these ones that we cut earlier in half, just do that. Brilliant.
And
you can do it. Okay, tube cutting. Watch yesterday's shows for tube cutting. Are you going to tube cut today?
I'm not sure.
No. What hour was it yesterday? Was it the last hour? Was it the 11 o'clock show? Nod. 1 nod for yes. 2 nods for no. It was 10 o'clock. It was the earlier one. No. Watch yesterday's shows We also can't remember anything. Because Lucy did how to cut a tube with which you sew the seams both ends, then cut your triangles, and one's only going to have like a couple of stitches pull apart. Bosh, job done. And it opens out and it's lovely. But watch yesterday's shows for that. They're all on YouTube, by the way. So yeah, you can watch this show back again. You know, if you fancy that. Nathaniel says this hour is such a giggle. They're laughing with you, not at you.
So don't be afraid.
So don't be afraid to stack it up and folding it. That's safe to do because you've got that non-slip grip. Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. These are brilliant, aren't they? I mean, this could only have been designed by someone that knew quilting through and through.
Should have had the mat back anyway.
Oh yeah, you should have had the rotating cutting mat. Oh, you've caught a thread. There you go. Oh, hello. Lots and lots. So again, makes your just makes the cutting time quicker. I really like these fabrics together. Oh, hello. Nice, because you folded it so it's double the size. Oh, that is why it's a multi-size. Yeah, because look. Much bigger. And it tiddly tiny. Idly biddly bits as we oh, hello. No, she's going for it. Now, producer Hayley would like it carried up. Ah, look at that, tiny. So if you're English paper piece as well, you are all good. Oh, nice. Oh, I like. Oh, that's nice. Right, flying geese. Let me just show you the flying geese. Now, this is in the book. So you can. It's in the book that we've got next hour, which is quick quids. That's like that's not this. Quick quilts with rulers. This is very, very popular. This is in that book. We'll take a look at that next hour. $22.95 gets you your... And this is designed by the owner's daughter of Creative Grids, Rachel Cross. Anything you see designed, that's all in the family. And this is your flying geese and 45 and 90-degree triangle ruler. Lucy Brennan, my love, you are top marks for being an utter trooper, and you can't disagree with me because you can't say anything. See you in just a moment.
Join us on Facebook. Simply search for The Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
It's easy to buy the products you see on our shows. To buy any of the items featured on today's programmes, just head over to our website www.sewingquarter.com. Click on the video stream and you'll be taken to our watch page. Here you'll find the product that is on air right now at the top of the page. Beneath that, you'll find all the products demonstrated in this morning's shows. To add an item to your basket, simply log into your account or register with us. Then you can either check out or keep shopping. Remember, our flat rate delivery charge lets you shop all day and check out as many times as you like and only pay once for postage and packing. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Did you know there are multiple ways you can contact us, even if it's just to ask a question? Our friendly team are always on standby. You can call our customer service team at 0800 112 4433, email us at help@sewingquarter.com, visit our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter @sewingquarter, and even message us through our website, and our presenters will answer your questions live on air.
Britain's favourite sewing show is coming to London and we'll be there with bells on. The Great British Sewing Bee Live is taking place over 4 days from the 21st to the 24th of September at XL London. If you're a hobbyist dressmaker who's been inspired by what you've seen on the Sewing Bee, a seasoned professional looking for new ideas, or just fancy taking dressmaking up for the first time, this is the event for you. We are proudly sponsoring the Demo Theatre with live performances from designer, author and former Sewing Bee contestant Jennifer Taylor throughout the weekend. And with our discount code SQD, you'll get £1.50 off your ticket. So what are you waiting for? Grab your tickets now and join the buzz at the Great British Sewing Bee live this September.
Hey, welcome back. Now, if you've been admiring this particularly gorgeous quilt all morning, now's the time to see how to make it. Now's the time to grab the fabric in order to be able to make it, and the book that has the instructions in, guess what? So that you can make it. Yes. So this hour, you've got myself, Natasha McCarthy, and I'm joined by a guest with a voice. Yes, Jane Alcock's in. We'll see her in just one moment. May I just reiterate that Lucy Brennan is fine, she just has no voice. Okay, now this is the book that this quilt comes out of. Let me show you the different bundles that we've got. So, this is our Sunshine and Cornflower Playtime Quilt Bundle. Now you're getting a whopping 5.5 metres of fabric here. You get 1.5 metres of your Kaffe gerbera in possibly the happiest colours you could possibly wish for. You get 1.5 metres of your linear there as well. You get 1.5 metres of your cornflower blue, and you get 1 metre of your bright yellow fabric there, 53.45, plus you get your thread, and as if that wasn't enough, oh, it's just the fabric, okay. So you've got all of that, 5.5 metres of fabric and your thread, and you are good to go. We've also put on the show for you the wadding, which we think is absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is the wadding that Jane used. It is a 50-50 wadding. So we like to bring you different waddings. This is 50-50. 50% cotton, 50% bamboo. It's snuggly, it's soft, it's all natural, it's hypoallergenic, and it's just one of those all-round brilliant renewable fibres that you can get. $27.95 for your So Simple, super soft 50-50 bamboo blend wadding. This is twin size, so that's 228 centimetres by 182 centimetres. Let me find you that in inches somewhere. Which is, hang on, twin size, so 72 by 90 inches. There we go. Now, I've got another option for you. So whether you want your blues and your yellows, or whether you want red and grey, we've got this option for you. Again, a whopping 5.5 metres of fabric. So we've got, this is your metre, and then 1.5 metres, 1.5 metres, 1.5 metres. So you've got that lovely linear heron grey in there, that lovely spot on, and then we've matched the same red, and then you've got your mercury grey, isn't it, on there. So they're your different colours there, and your thread for $45.95. Difference in prices just down to the fabric that's in there. So you choose which bundle. They will both make the patchwork front for that quilt there. Fab. Now, the quilt is this one, which is your Playtime. Here it is. So this was the book that we featured last hour, already selling very, very well from last hour. Please check out your baskets. If you've got it in your basket, I don't want anyone missing out. So $15.95. It is by Pam and Nicky Lintott, who are award-winning mother-daughter combo. That's lovely with it. You see, that's where the inspiration for the red and the grey bundle came from, was from those sort of colours. So you get an idea of what that would look like. But better than that, you'll get an idea, because Jane's only gone and made it out of the red and the grey as well for this hour. Come with me. Find the lady behind the quilt. Well, in front of the quilt, actually, but hello. Thank you. And also thank you for offering to help out as well this morning.
Well, I know Lucy's okay in herself, but it must be really hard having no voice when you're trying to demonstrate something.
Brilliant. Bless her. Now, the book, Quick Quilts with Rulers. This is used, and let me just show you, because I kept skipping over it in the last hour, probably with people shouting at the TV going, no, we want to see everything. This uses the Creative Grids Kaleidoscope Triangle 45-degree root. That one. It's got a great long name. but we've got it here in the studio today. That is what it looks like. It's from Creative Grids. So Pam and Nicky have teamed up and gone, right, we're going to show you how to use these. We've got this as a fabulous design tool. Let's use it. Let me show you all of the quilts that use that particular ruler. It's £24.95, and these are all the quilts in this book, featured in the book, used with that ruler. So there are 3 different rulers that are used in the book, but these that I'm showing you now only use that kaleidoscope triangle 45 degree. It's brilliant, isn't it? Just completely different looks from one ruler. Step by step, that's lovely. Step-by-step instructions. So for example, if you want to make a misty mountain, and who doesn't, then it shows you how to cut your fabric and then how to use the tool, how to put it together, how to piece it together, and what your finished block will look like. Look at that. Jane, were the instructions clear? Were they easy?
They were very clear.
Because have you used many Creative Grids before?
I have, not the shaped one so much, but I like their straight one.
Because I know that a lot of people would look at that. I'd certainly look at it and go, well, not sure how to use that. But look, you see, we're still on that same ruler, having made, look at, I like that as well. Beautiful. So get the book, get the ruler, get your fabric, get going. Woo! Very pretty. All with the same ruler. And then you move on to your flying geese ruler, which is just fab. So as someone that's used their straight rulers, but not necessarily their fancy schmancy ones, easy?
Yeah. I mean, Rachel designs for quilters, doesn't she? So she knows what we need. We need to have the space to get our rotary cutter around. So there's a gap in it there to get your rotary cutter around. So, get your fingers from there.
Finger puppet time. And then producer Haley's going, can you please not both get your fingers stuck? That would be really fun.
Yeah, it would just finish off nicely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'll get the fire brigade in there. That would be fun.
Ooh, different style to the day. But this is 2 in 1. It's sort of 4 in 1, isn't it? Because you've also got the strip bit down here.
Yeah.
So you would cut. Now that's, hang on, how wide is that? 2.5 inch strip.
Yeah.
It's that it comes down to, doesn't it? 2.5 inches so often in quilting.
It's a nice size, 2.5 inches. It's a good all-rounder. And of course, with your jelly rolls and charm packs, it fits in nice and nicely. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, how there are just some measurements that just work and seem to be repeated through life, quilting, everything. So we've got that there. So do we then need to do? Well,
I'll demonstrate.
Yes.
I'm going to show you how to make the block, and I've used the grey and red for this block.
I forget you have a voice. I don't need to talk over you today. So that's what we're making.
Let me just refer to my instructions just for a second.
So the first thing to do is cut your strips.
Yes, you cut 2 4.5 inch wide strips.
Okay.
Now, these are the colours that you want for the main triangles here.
Right.
So whichever colours you decide you want to have there, those are the ones that you cut at 4.5 inches wide.
And it's very striking, isn't it?
Mm. It certainly is, yeah. So you put the 2 strips right sides together.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got them right sides together. With your plain, it doesn't necessarily matter so much because there isn't a wrong or right side. Now, you don't have to worry about cutting your selvage off because you're going to start cutting with your ruler straight away. So line up the bottom of the triangle, not your ruler part, it's the triangle that you're lining up along the bottom of that strip there. If you can see that. So it's lined up along the bottom there. Firm pressure, keeping your fingers out of the way. And you, with your rotary cutter, you cut up. Now, I always cut away from myself. You could cut down because you've got the space there, but I don't like to cut towards myself.
And you've got a stopper as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you don't overrun.
So just cutting away. Just gone off slightly on that one. Keeping your rotary cutter to the edge. It's not going to slip, it's not going to move. Now, I'm going to cut up that one, but I'm not going to cut along this one because I want to use that one as my guide.
Okay.
I'm just going to recut that one because I just went off slightly. And we'll discard that one. But you've got your
Brilliant.
triangles.
Oh, so you now use that as a guide to
So
then
now
line
I
up that
can line
edge.
that one up, because otherwise you've got to then sort of work out your 1/4 inch. If I'd have cut down that one, you'd be then thinking, right, where's the 1/4 inch to mark to get up?
I'm with you.
There.
I'm with you. And off you go again.
And you go again, trying to keep to this side. It's a bit awkward cutting that way.
Do you want the rotating cutting mat?
What you can do is Lucy showed me this actually when we were in the prep room out there. Just turn it slightly to the side. So you don't have to have it straight towards you.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bit more of a purchase that way. And it works equally that way. So you've got enough room for manoeuvring. So we're so used to having things straight in front of us to keep ourselves straight. So just angle it slightly and you give yourself a bit more room.
Fab.
You're going to need 8 pairs.
Hang on, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3,
Not 8 pairs at all. 4 pairs, sorry.
4 pairs.
For 1 block.
Do you want any more cutting or are we good?
No, I think we're good.
So we've cut everything out for a block?
Yes, 4 pairs for a block. In the instructions, it tells you exactly how many strips and how many triangles you need. I think there's 80 pairs altogether.
Let's have a look. I've got all my little stickers in. Oh, vital statistics, Jane.
Yeah,
vital statistics. Quilt size, 50 inches by 58.5 inches. It's a nice size, isn't it?
Yeah.
Block size, 8 inches. Number of blocks, 20. And then the setting is 4 times 5 blocks with a 5.5 inch striped sash and 5 inch plain border. There you go.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
all there.
And then it tells you how much fabric you need. We've sorted that. We've popped that in there for you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then it tells you how many strips to cut of each fabric.
There we go, and get it overhead then.
So we need 5 4.5 inch strips of the 2 fabrics.
Right.
And from that you will cut, keeping the pairs together. It tells you here somewhere.
So just, yeah,
It's like something like 80, I think, or something like that.
So you're going to be an absolute whiz at it by the time that you finish cutting it all.
And it is, once you've got your method right, you cut them quite quickly.
Off you go.
And because you've kept the fabrics together, they're in pairs, ready for you to just chain piece.
And again, that speeds up the process, doesn't it?
It does, just whiz them up. They come together really quite quickly.
Now, we had yesterday, because people always laugh at me and they go, Natasha, you cannot be that much of a skinflint that you want to chain piece to save your thread. But it's one of those things. If you have something like Orifil, which is like £33 for a pack of 10, actually, I want to save every single bit of that thread.
Well,
so for me, it's about saving time, it's about saving fabric, it's about saving thread as well, if I'm working with something
and it's
beautiful.
also, you don't want all long dangly bits of thread everywhere. Because they get in the way, they get in your seam, and then they get all over the floor and the dog.
And the dog, and then get stuck in the Hoover.
Yes.
So we're also saving the life of your Hoover. I can't make that claim officially, by the way.
And there are other brands of vacuum cleaner.
Yes. Yes.
We all call them Hoovers, don't we? Even when they're not Hoovers. They might be Dysons or...
There might be all sorts.
Or all others.
Oh, yes. My son has tried to learn to vacuum. And, so he has to have a little handheld one to go around and do his own thing.
It's a good thing to get them into, particularly boys. They need to know these domestic things.
They do need to know how to do all these things. And he gets very upset if I try and stop him.
It's good.
He didn't get that from me, that's for sure.
Encourage him.
Sorry?
Encourage him.
Oh, no, I do. And if he's made a mess for his dinner, he has to hoover it all up.
Oh, good. Right, so you've got those chain pieced in pairs.
Looking like slightly odd bunting.
Yes. Squiff bunting.
Do you want the iron?
Yes, we're going to iron those open.
Producer Hayley, if we run out now of those mini irons, she's on it, because it depends which iron I use now. Oh, there's one mini iron left. So if you wanted the mini iron from the earlier show, please grab it now. If it's in your basket, check it out. Don't miss out. You can, of course, check out as many times as you like throughout the day. We will only ever charge you 1 P&P per day. It's not bad, is it?
It's good.
1 P&P per day. Perfect, because, you know, how often, I don't know if you're like me, I generally forget stuff. Just, you know, I go to the shops, there's always something that I forget. Or I can, you know, I can always be persuaded that something else to buy is a good idea. You do forget the one thing that you go for. You're quite right. I was in the soup. Producer Haley says, like bread. Exactly that happened to me 2 days ago. The one thing my husband asked for, I forgot. And actually, it was my 3-year-old that said, and we need bagels for Daddy. Good job he was with me.
It's a good job he was there.
Yeah. Oh, yes, there'd have been bagel issues at home. Nobody wants bagel issues, let me tell you.
So we're going to sew the pairs together.
Okay.
Now, because we've pressed the seams all to the red side, they nestle in quite nicely. So we can get those together.
So that's why you were handing them all to me in a specific way to make sure.
It just helps with the flow, and it helps with it lying flat as we when we come to get it together, because we've got all these points meeting in the middle. If we press them all to one way when we come to it.
Now, when we need to line up 1/4 of an inch, where do we need to work from on these?
Well, on this machine, I can move the needle over.
Okay.
So I've moved it over so that I know that I'm lining the edge of the fabric up with the edge of the foot, and the needle's in the 1/4 of an inch position.
Okay. Because that's always, you know, I'm paranoid about my 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm learning.
Some people have 1/4 of an inch feet for their machines. On my machine, I can't move my needle across, so what I did was I put my ruler underneath my foot, brought the needle down onto the 1/4 inch mark, and then got some electrical tape out of my dad's toolbox and taped across the throat of my machine, so that I got this black line that I knew that I had to have my fabric up against the edge of.
There's always a way.
There's always a way.
What I notice is that actually quilters are very resourceful.
Oh,
and if there isn't a tool for the job, just make one.
Make one up.
Yeah.
So if we press those that way.
Okay. So press the stitch in and then knock it back.
Oh no, hang on, sorry, I showed you the wrong way. That way.
And then knock it back. That way?
Yeah.
There you go.
Lovely.
Is that pressed enough, or would you like
Yeah,
it?
that's perfect.
Oh yeah, there we go. Actually coming together very quickly.
It does. It's a beautiful, quick block to do. So you've got your 2 halves now, and you sew them together.
Now, that centre point is going to be pretty vital, isn't it, if you want to get all of those centre pieces matching.
You've got on
pin
here,
at this stage?
You've got on here, it's the 1/4 of an inch. So with a 1/4 of an inch foot or needle placement, it's going to be pretty accurate. It's pretty foolproof, because that is already there. You've got that seam allowance has already been allocated within the triangle.
And also cut off, because if you had the dog ear on top of that, then suddenly you'd get room for error. But because that's already missing, then your 1/4 of an inch is spot on there. And that is what is brilliant. And also it's reducing bulk underneath that central point of that pinwheel.
You're still going to get some bulk, and this is where pressing the seams all in the same direction will come into its own.
Is it going to look fabulous from the back and the front?
In theory, yes.
But I've done the pressing, so who knows?
Well,
it depends if I paid attention to you.
My sewing as well, it's not... So, did I bring this unpicker with me?
Did you need an unpicker?
No,
Did you want one?
Well, we can use these little snippy scissors, we're fine. I'm just going to unpick. I don't know if I shouldn't do this. Unpick those few stitches up to that seam line that we've just sewn.
Oh, okay.
On both sides.
So get your unpicker.
Yeah, do it safely with your unpicker. Just use that pin. Just get that little one there. If it will come out, it might not. Sometimes they don't want to. There we go. And when we press that, if we press that open now, we can then press the one seam one way and the one seam the other way. and it just reduces that bulk down in the middle.
Oh, brilliant. And you get a little mini pin.
And you get a little mini
itty bitty
pin wheel in the middle.
That's very satisfying. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, please.
There. Hang on, let me just check. That one's going that way. Hang on, let me just get... I want to do it right for you, Jane.
You're probably best doing it on the reverse side, and then you can see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What I would have done if I'd have been pressing it, I'd have pressed it flat first, and then pressed it open, and then do the twiddle. But once it's done, it's pretty good.
There. Quiet because I'm concentrating.
Yeah.
Look at that. Perfect.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's perfect. Look at that pinpoint. Perfect points.
Because it's, you know, the hard work has been done for you with the ruler. Really.
I'm going to change my prior and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Prior and proper preparation gives perfect pinpoints.
Right. So you make these blocks up, and then you're going to add a triangle onto the corners to square it up.
Can I make that with this ruler too?
You can. You probably would be better with the other one because it's a 3 1/4 inch square.
Okay, and that goes up to 2.5 inches.
So you would need a straight ruler as well.
I tell you what's gone absolutely crazy last hour was that Stripology grid square.
Oh, that's
so
lovely.
if you've just purchased that, you're going to want an excuse, aren't you? So you could use that.
You could.
But a 3 1/2 inch square you can cut with any of your rulers. Brilliant.
This is actually 3 1/4 inch.
3 1/4.
Yeah.
You can do that 1/4 on that
You
Stripology
can,
thing as
because
well.
you just move it slightly, yeah. But those Stripology ones are great, particularly if you're doing lots of the same width
find that
strip.
quite therapeutic.
And you can get it all in one go. I love that one. Right, so I've done the square in the book. You need so many squares with the triangle on the grey and so many with the triangle on the red.
Right.
I think it's 12 with the red and 8, because you make 20 of these altogether. I think it's 12 with the red and 8 with the grey.
Now, Jane, in the kit, we've only used 3 out of the 4 fabrics.
Yes.
Where's that 4th fabric going?
I put mine on the back, but there isn't quite enough, so I pieced the back, because you've got quite a little bit left.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to dance. Look at all this.
Those were all the leftover bits.
So actually it's as lovely on the back as it is...
Yeah, it could be reversible.
Fab.
If you wanted to.
Excellent. I rather like that. Oh, you are a clever thing.
Resourceful. So, with the square, 3 1/4 inch, I'm going to cut along the diagonal. Now, I've got 2 squares together there because I cut them all in one go. So I'm going to leave them cut together, and I'm just going to cut down the diagonal like that.
Now, the ruler in the book, very, very popular. If you need it this hour, please check out your baskets. If you've already checked out today, don't worry, it's only £2.95 P&P per day. Excellent.
So we're going to add these triangles onto there. Like so.
It's got a very different look, hasn't it, in the grey and the red?
Yes.
To the... I mean, this is... The one we've got behind us is suddenly beach balls and all
sunshine,
that kind of
definitely.
sunshine holiday feel.
Yeah, this is calmer.
Yeah.
And
quite sophisticated, isn't it?
Yeah, and dare I say a little bit masculine?
I think that's just
maybe
it, you
a
know.
teenage boy type quilt, maybe.
Yeah.
You get away with it.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why, but baby quilts at the moment, everybody seems to be doing everything in grey. It seems to be the colour, grey and lemon or grey and turquoise. Oh, love it. Ooh. So, little tip.
Yes.
To get your triangle in the centre of that triangle so that you know that it's going to be square, I fold the triangle that I want it to be up against. I fold it in half, just pinch it to make a little mark.
You've butted those edges up, haven't you?
That way I know that it's in half. Just pinch it there, and then take the triangle and pinch that as well, just to make a little crease in it.
Yeah.
And then line those creases up. That way I know that they're both in the centre.
Do we pin that?
I am going to pin that.
Are these the super duper
These lovely fine ones.
fine quilty glass-headed pins that we had?
Perfect. And what I will do is I would go round and I would pin all of them.
Okay.
And I would probably crease them all at the same time.
And that's absolutely okay to do so, even though I have pressed it.
Yeah. You can press it again.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's all good. And right sides together as you go round.
Yeah, right sides together.
Oh, because you've got those dog ears hanging out over the side, you see, you wouldn't necessarily have lined it up.
Yeah,
That's why we're
and
doing...
even if you try and line it up, you've got one seam going that way and one seam going that way, and the triangle is even wider than that anyway. So you can't really... You could do it by eye. Some people are very good at seeing things by eye. You could take your ruler and measure it if you really wanted to, but this little pinch it trick is quite useful.
Is this in the book, or is this a Jane special?
This is my way round it. I don't think it actually says anything in the book about lining them up. I think it just...
That's the joy of... Because in an hour show, we can give you so many tips and hints, whereas actually, if you had to write all of an hour's worth into a book, it would be a tome.
Yes, it would.
For each of those quilts. Could you imagine? It'd be huge. So I really love that we've got you the book today, and that just makes me want to go on holiday. But also watch back the show, because it's these little hints and tips that Jane gives that means that you're going to get that brilliant finish. Actually, I quite like it like that.
I do. I kept looking at that and thinking, that's a lovely shape.
Do you know, it's... It'd be dreadful together.
And
Could you imagine if we
never
shared
get
the
anything
workspace?
finished,
We'd
would
be
we?
like, oh, no, I know that you've, started off doing this quilt. But have you thought, actually, it'd be really lovely if you just did one like that?
Yeah.
How could you do one like that, actually? That'd be a whole different piece. You'd have
I think
to...
it'd be foundation pieced, really. There'd have to be some sort of foundation.
Looks
going
like some
on.
sort of medal, doesn't it?
Is it Maltese
Cross,
cross or something like that?
I'm going to bow to your superior
Well, I don't know. I don't want to
knowledge.
say, because I don't want to give out the wrong information, but...
And then, where do we find that 1/4 of an inch as we sew those?
Well, you've got here, where the straight edge of that triangle and that point of the corner triangle meet, you've got that gap there. Now, that should be 1/4 of an inch.
So it's like an arrow going...
It sort of is. If you could
start
start...
there.
But if you're using a 1/4 inch foot or you've moved your needle, you just, again, you'll line you up with the edge.
I'm going to leave you to sew those.
Okay.
Let's go look at some fabric. I'm going to move that out of the way because it looks like that's coming in the bundle. I will talk about that in a second. So, 2 different bundles for you. Which to go for? Which to go for? Let's have a look, first of all. Kaffe Fassett's Gerbera. This is the one that we've had behind us all morning. This is the fabric. Now, you're getting 1.5 meters of this in your kit. Yes, yes, yes. What a happy print that is. Just love it. Yeah, producer Hayley wants to fussy cut round those and do a whole different quilt. That's not today's show, producer Hayley. Then you've got 1.5 meters of your linear, so we're getting texture through there as well. And then you've got 1.5 meters of your cornflower, and then your bright yellow you get 1 meter of. Okay, so you get that, and that's $53.95 plus your thread. So you are good to go. Excellent. Now that's the Kaffe option. If you're after grey and red, which is a completely different feel, then you've got 1 meter of your spot on in your red. You've got 1 meter of your heron grey linear, 1.5 meters, of your heron grey linear. You've got 1.5 meters of your red and 1.5 meters of your mercury grey and your thread. All of that for $45.95. DVGC 99. Yeah, you start to get the idea there. Looking fabulous. And of course, that is so that you can make Jane's quilt. It's called Playtime. So actually that's that's giving you an idea. And this is one of the options to make with the creative grids that we've got for you today. So if you've gone for the creative grid that coordinates with this, you've got lots of other options to choose from as well, like that one, all made with the same creative grid that we've got on the show for you today. We've got that one, again, all with that same, look at that, isn't that lovely? And so this is the creative grid that you're going to need to make these, which is just brilliant. So whether you're grabbing the fabric, the creative grid, the book, please check out your baskets. $45.95 gets you the red and grey. The book is $15.95. Very, very popular. Please check out your baskets for that. Excellent. And so the fabric that we've chosen, the wadding that we've chosen. Sorry, producer Haley, misheard. So this is the wadding that we've chosen. We have all kinds of wadding. Please head to the website if you'd like others. This one here, one of my personal favourites, 50-50, 50% cotton, 50% bamboo. We had, who was it? It was Joy came in and she gave us a whole hour about which wadding to use and when. Which wadding when? And what she said to me about the bamboo, which I hadn't even thought of, is that actually bamboo is great to use and cotton because they are replenishable, reusable, they're natural, all those things. And also she said, you know, when you get a wet year, the cotton growth isn't as good. So actually the cost of it comes down by using bamboo because there's lots of bamboo. So $27.95. Brilliant. Things I hadn't even thought about. That's your wadding. Hey, Jay.
Hi.
Ooh, nice.
So we've pressed those triangles back now, so they're pressed back, and that's your square. So in this one, there's 5 in a row, 3 going one way and 2 going the other, which is why in the book they tell you to make 20 one way and 20 the other way.
That's how
8
it
the other way, sorry.
looks like there's that movement, isn't it? That's how it's done. Fabulous.
So you've got... Let me just make sure I got them in the right order. And that one will go on the end there. So that's your 5 in a row. So I sewed them together in pairs with an odd one. Sewed the pairs together and then sewed that one on the end.
And then just add that.
And then you've got your rows. You then cut the strips and make the strips up.
I never realised.
That fashion. So I sewed the 2 blue ones to the middle and then the 2 yellow ones to the blue.
And build it up.
And then you've got the strip that way. And then that goes in between your strip of blocks. And then you put the border around the edge. It's
a lovely break, actually, isn't it? Because then it's like, okay, it's almost like marbles tumbling along something, isn't it? And then it's almost like they've got a surface to play on. Because this fabric and the fabric that you've used in the corners is the same, they look like they're floating. Yes.
On the stripe, looks like it's floating on the background.
The illusions that you can create with quilts is incredible. And I would never have thought that you could get so much movement.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, I do like it.
You can use your quilting to give that movement effect. I was looking at this and I thought if you quilted a spiral in there, it would really make it look like it was spinning. You know, if you know, feel how confident you, depends on how confident you are with your quilting. I started to quilt inside the blue triangle to sort of accent that. Ran out of time, so there's only one row done. But that, again, gives you a different effect. You could do a curve like that, and that, again, would give another effect of movement within the...
Like a cathedral window.
Yeah, sort of like a curve. And it would give you that sort of feeling of it spinning. So you can go to town on your quilting with it as well, from very simple, just, you know, in the ditch, to having a play with it.
We had westerly rulers on in the week. I think it was Wednesday that we had those on. And from that show, and also from being at Festival of Quilts, I don't know why I hadn't realised, but actually the whole quilting aspect of your patchwork and quilting can be an art form in itself.
Yes, it certainly can. And I mean, there's some quilters out there and their work is just breathtaking. And I mean, you'll have probably seen them at the Festival of Quilts. The quilting is just...
There was one that took my breath away, which was, it was huge and it was just white. But the detail was in the quilting.
Yeah.
And it was just exquisite. And it hadn't occurred to me. It was only, I had one of those moments when I saw it and went, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. We've got a question from Jackie. How do you hide all your threads on the back and the front of your quilting lines?
I pull them through. I pull them through to the back. I tie them, and then I thread them through into the back of the quilt, between the wadding and the backing fabric.
So they're secured.
Yeah.
Do you do that with a needle? Just pull them
just
through?
grab the thread.
Great question, actually.
I can probably show you in principle on this. If you imagine that this is the backing of the quilt and this is the quilting thread, what I would do is I grab the backing thread, give it a tug, and it pulls the loop of the top thread through, because I'm at the back, pulls a loop of the top thread through. So you pull that,
right?
Get your needle or your unpicker into that loop and pull it, and then I would just tie it like you would a knot.
Just like you're tying your shoelaces?
Yeah, just once. And then twice, just to secure it. And then I take both of those thread into my needle and just poke it back into where it's come out and along a bit, pull the needle out, give it a bit of a tug and snip as close as I feel confident enough to the backing, and it goes back in.
Gosh.
It's a time-consuming process, and some people just pull them through and snip them, which again is fine. Some people on their machines, they have the facility to do a little stitch on the spot which secures the thread, and you can snip it then. But you do have little, you can't really see them, but little threads. So I'm a tie it off and poke it through person.
How did you learn?
From Chris Francis and Barbara Cheney, who taught me, really.
Right.
I used to go to their workshops and classes. Became a bit of a groupie, really, and went to everything that they did. And now I'm lucky enough to have them teaching at my shop. So,
wow,
it's all come full circle, and they're just an inspiration to me. And Chris does design as well.
Right.
She designs for some of the magazines, and we quite often do, like we were just saying. Well, if you did that and you turned that round and this, spend hours.
Very dangerous. Now, very dangerous indeed. Let's have a look through this ruler. Yes.
I had a little play while Lucy was doing hers, and I noticed the block that's on this ruler.
So whenever you get a creative grid, they will always give you at least one design idea on the ruler as to ways in which to use the ruler itself. And this is the one that comes with this ruler. Let me just hold that up for you there so you can see it. This, if you scan in on your phone, will take you to... it's a design. Oh, is that the full quilt design? Oh, it's on the... sorry, I'm looking at it from upside down and back to front. On the instructions, you get the one that you scan in on your QR reader on your phone, if you've got that. But that's giving you an overall design for a quilt. So you've got that one as a block and that as an entire quilt. Gosh.
So we made that block.
That's gorgeous. And again, that's out of the grey bundle. Oh, look at it in opposites. That's fabulous.
And it's done.
Yeah, how would we make... Can we show you how to make it? Oh, brilliant.
2.5 inch strips sewn together.
Yeah.
Place your ruler. Now, on the ruler, I don't know if you can see, there's a dashed line along here. I don't know if we can see that.
Well, there we go.
There we go. There's a dashed line there. Now, rather than trying to line the bottom up with the bottom of your strip, line that dashed line up with your seam.
And it just brings everything...
It just makes it slightly more accurate, and you don't have to worry about the fact that once you've sewn... Sometimes when you sew a strip together, the lines go a little bit wavy. So you want 8 of these to make a block.
So this will cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I got from a strip of fabric. I got the 2 blocks.
Oh, brilliant!
So
because of course
width
you've got
of
the
fabric.
inverse.
Yeah, because you've got the opposite, and that's what gives you the spider webby effect.
Excellent. It is. It's another illusion, isn't it? It's one of those things that I would spend hours looking at, thinking how.
Well, you'd look
on
at it
earth
and you
did
think,
do
oh
it?
gosh, all those pieces. 'Cause
Yes.
you'd be thinking, oh, triangles that size, I can't
Not-
cope
not-
with that.
No, that's not happening. Not in my world.
So then you've got the triangles, so they're like that. You turn one round,
Just spin it around.
spin it around, you've got that effect. Oops, make sure they're in the right way.
That's excellent.
And because you've turned them around, when you come to piece them together, you've got this nesting effect again on the seam there.
Nesting the seams together means
It just gives you that accuracy.
yeah.
It just, you're virtually guaranteed that your points are going to match.
like here. So on here you can see how these points, they're just perfect. But again, it's right tools for the job, isn't it?
It just makes your life so much easier.
And that's why, because you lined up that middle line, where the colours crossed over, because you lined your ruler up on that middle line, you're going to get that accuracy.
Yeah.
Excellent. And that's what I mean by it being designed so well. Just excellent.
Now, have I got time to sew that together?
Yes. Whilst you do, are you going to chain piece?
Yeah, I'll chain piece and sew that together, and then
Is that the same?
Yeah, that's what you end up with. And what I did, I've got 2 more triangles, I think. Yeah, I have. I put the grey triangle, cut the same size, 3 1/4 inches, cut in half. I put the grey against the grey.
Oh.
And then the red against the red. No, sorry, the red against the grey. Or the grey against the red. And that gives you that opposite effect.
You could make this for a dart enthusiast, couldn't you?
You could.
So the difference is just
The placement of the triangle.
placement of the triangle.
It's either on there or it's on there.
That's so clever.
I just want, if I can, I'd like to get these 2 put together, and then I can show you what it would look like.
You know, we said about illusion. I would have been going, hang on, but which way round? And it's just the colour of the triangle. So clever. So clever. Whilst you stitch those, I'm going to show everybody the book again, because this has been very, very popular. Please do check out your baskets for this. Now, the quilt that we've got behind us is made out of the Kaffe fabric, so we'll give you the details for that as well. But this is out of the Quick Quilts with Rulers book by a lovely mother-daughter combo, Pam and Nicky Lintott. And you've got 18 different quilts to go through. How much stock have we got actually, producer Hayley? If she's doing the maths. Just over 20 left. It's been going fast. We've got a large stock of this to wear, so just over 20 left. The book is divided into 3 sections. Using 3 different creative grids. So this was one that we featured in last hour. If you want the details for that, check out the website. Oh, that's the 2 peaks. Oh, there you go. Producer Hayley's all on it. Look, there's the details for that ruler there. And that will allow you to make the following quilts. The book is Producer Hayley, I think the book's underpriced. For everything that you get in it, yes. Fabulous. And easy step-by-step instructions. Because you could easily go and do a workshop, a quilt, couldn't you, in here?
Definitely.
So you're getting kind of 18 workshops in one, if you will, here, which is lovely. And then you get the whichever creative grid. Oh, hang on. Producer Hayley wants to go back. That one. So you can really see the detailing there in your quilting. Look at that. Exquisite. We had, actually, last week, we had some of Pam and Nicky's actual quilts in the studio, and you could see the detailing in the quilting. was just gorgeous. And to actually have them in the flesh was a real privilege. Thank you for letting us have those. And so your details for each one, how to use that creative grid for each of these quilts. There's your details, there's your instructions, really clear, step by step, all photographed, well, drawn and photographed as well. Oh, hang on, I've skipped one. Still, this is all still with that first grid that we showed you, details down the bottom of the screen for that. But you see, what I love is that you can pick the one that you absolutely love and go for it. That's the one that we've got in the studio today. And then as you feel ready to go on to the next one, invest in your next creative grid. Still again using this kaleidoscope. We're now onto the kaleidoscope, aren't we? So now we're working with the kaleidoscope one, which is the one that we're using this hour. And these are the quilts for that one. Details for that down the bottom, $24.95. I love this one. The Misty Mountain, I think, is one of my favourites in this book. Look at that. Just stunning. But then this is the one that we've got here, the Playtime one. Yay! But now we're having so much fun with different ways in which to work with it. Ooh. Isn't photography fabulous in this book? That's the one that we're making up now. Hang on, so which quilt does that come in? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, so that would make that one. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Lovely. Then if you bought your flying geese ruler, these are all with the flying geese ones. So it's not a matter of, well, I've bought one ruler, I can only make one quilt. You've got sort of 6 options for each one, I believe, which is just fab. And once you've learned the technique, it's ingrained then, isn't it?
Well, that's right.
You can do whatever you like with it.
It's also nice to know that you're not just buying a ruler and thinking, oh, well, I'm only going to be able to make one quilt with that.
No, no, no.
You can make so many more options with it.
Just lovely. Oh, beautiful book. $15.95. Yeah. Now, the Kaffe bundle, which is this one. Going crazy, so please grab that if you're after that beautiful happy fabric. We say this about a lot of fabrics, and it's that some fabric combinations they're just happy. You can't be sad when you look at them, and this is one. 53.45 HHGC 52 is your sunshine and cornflower Playtime quilt bundle. 5.5 metres. 1.5 metres of that is Kaffe Fassett fabric, because we've now got Kaffe Fassett fabric by the 1/2 metre, which is brilliant.
That's lovely, isn't it?
It's
You can
really
just
brilliant.
Make what you like with it. You just have a 1/2 metre and just make it into a cushion.
And now because you've got all of that fabric, you can make this quilt, or you can look through the book and go, oh, actually, I might fancy doing this,
yeah.
I might fancy doing that, or I've already got that ruler, so I could make this one or that one, or... You see, again, design choices.
Go on forever.
Yeah. And do you find that you start making something and then you go, kind of wish...
Yeah. Or you start making something and you think, oh, well, actually, if I put something else into that, or I mix that block with that, I get this. And it's just, it goes on forever. And it's just, it's a bit like playing with the kaleidoscope when you were a child. You just keep turning it, and
yes.
There's another pattern.
And this is why it's called the kaleidoscope. Yeah. It's also, for me, do you ever get dinner envy?
When you look at somebody else's,
yeah,
and think, why haven't I ordered that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We quite often find that in workshops. You get fabric envy. The people will come in and they'll say, oh, you know, oh, I like your fabric more.
Yes. Why didn't I think of that?
Oh, I like the colours you've used.
Hello, Arson. She's messaged in. Tash, is this book for beginner quilters?
I would say yes. With the ruler,
making it easy.
It's straightforward. It's not complicated. The ruler definitely helps to make it easier. The instructions are straightforward. You might need to have a little bit of knowledge of your cutting, using a rotary cutter and a mat. But
even in the introduction, it gives you a little hint. So, you know, we know that quilters love gadgets, and rulers are the ultimate gadget for quilters. Somewhere we all have clever rulers tucked away, which we've bought, and they look so quick and easy to use. We also know that many of these rulers are not used very often, but what a waste. Rulers really do make cutting and creating easier, so it's important to know how to use that. So it is about getting the ruler and then getting starting. So if you're happy to try a new ruler, and I think sometimes if you're a beginner, in a way it's easier because you don't already have preconceived ideas.
That's right, yeah.
So if you're starting with a new ruler, then there's no reason why. Just follow the instructions step by step.
And I think some of us old die-hard patchworkers, we're like, oh, well, you just need your square one and your straight one, and it's got the 60-degree line and the 45-degree line, and you can cut it. But
you want to have fun as well.
Sometimes having a ruler like that just takes some of the thinking time out of, and the room for error. There's no room for error with that quilt, with that ruler. You're going to get your triangle every time.
So you're not going to waste any fabric by going wrong.
You're not going to waste fabric. You're not going to cut it the wrong size or anything. It's going to fit every time.
I quilt when or sew or craft when I need downtime. It's my quiet time. It's my relaxation. So actually, I don't want to have to be number crunching and sorting all that out.
And stressing about whether you got it right.
So for me, actually, if I've got a ruler that's going to make life really easy and make me look good, hell, I'm after that. Karen in Staffordshire says, change my mind. That's okay. Oh, she was on number 8.
Oh, right.
Karen was on number 8 of her Creative Grid collection. Have just had to have the kaleidoscope ruler. So number 9 is... Oh, no, she is on number 9, Natasha. Yes, she says, Natasha, just love the quilt, Jane, says Karen. So thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Sorry that we've boosted... No, sorry, not sorry. We've boosted your Creative Grids.
I'm just going to...
Your Creative Grid stash there. Sorry, say that again, Producer Hayley. Margaret's asked if we... Oh, sell spare blades. I wonder what on earth you were saying. Yes, we do sell spare blades for your rotary cutter. If you're going to be cutting, cut with a sharp one. Don't munch it with a blunt one. We've got them here, in fact, just to hand here. We've got rotary blade set, 3 of them there, 45mm, $7.95. Treat yourself. Go on, if your basket's open, pop it in. Check out as many times as you like. $7.95. RPGQ 41. Now this quilt over here, the Kaffe one,
yes,
I want to take to the beach.
Yeah.
This one is feeling quite metro.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got quite a grown-up feel, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's quite nice, and it sort of forms a curve when you do them. I don't think we can quite see it there, but you get like a curved effect.
Ooh, that's fab. You could I guess you could do it in rows as well if you wanted.
Yeah, keep it all together.
But this is your kaleidoscope. This is what this hour is all about.
Yeah. If you wanted to, you could put the same colour in the corners as this one, and that would give you another design.
That would give you almost a star.
Yeah, kite sort of shape.
So once you get these rulers, so Alson, you were saying, is this for starters? Is this for beginners? Yes, it can be, but you know, once you get going and you've had a go, you're going to want to do so many. Just think of the number of different ways, even of just placing them together.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have to necessarily have the set. You could do a strip with different colours in and swap them around. So you could have these ones from a different colour strip way, and then you'd have them in the opposite block. So you could mix it with colours.
You could do a rainbow. You could buy the planes that we've got on the website by the half metre, and you could do a rainbow. So you could do sort of 2 reds, then oranges, and you could work it so you had the whole rainbow effect, and then just... Can we do that?
Yeah, let's go and do that now. We could do anything.
That would be amazing.
I think you're just limited
by time.
By time, yes, you're limited by time, but also your imagination, really, because you can go on and on.
I always find that I'm far more imaginative when I bounce ideas off somebody.
Yes.
I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Less than 10 of the book, if you are after the book and we rate it, we really rate this book. It's what we've all been waiting for, is a book that's going to talk us through specific rulers. You've got 3 rulers in here to choose from. Start with one ruler, make the quilts. If you've got a favourite one, go for it. So only 10 of you now can get this book. If everybody checks out, there are only 10 remaining. So please make sure you're not disappointed and that you get this book today. If only just to be transported here. Looks really rather lovely.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, now, you know what we did also have on the show? And that is because we often get asked about, you've done the top, you've done the patchwork, looking spot on, beautiful. Then you want to get your wadding. Go with the old 50-50 bamboo cotton. And then you've got your base, obviously, and then you start to quilt. But you need to hold it in place.
Yeah.
Spray-based or safety pin?
I tend to, with a larger quilt that size, I'd pin it. Spray basting doesn't hold long enough for a large quilt that size.
Do you want to see these? I call these banana pins.
I love them.
That's not their name. They are quarters safety pins. They look like someone stood on them. They haven't. That's what they're meant to look like. And that's just so that when you put it in, it easily goes in and out.
I can with this one. If you've got your layers of quilt, you don't want it to move.
That's the whole point, isn't it? That's why you're pinning it.
You taped your backing down to your surface. I do it on the floor at home because I haven't got a table big enough. You've taped your backing down. You've put your wadding on. You've put your quilt top on. You don't want to then be picking it up to pin it because you're going to move your layer.
You've taped your wadding down?
No, just the backing.
Backing? You tape the backing down?
Yeah, so it doesn't move.
That's a brilliant idea.
I thought everybody did it. We all do it in our classes. We tape the backing down from the middle, not from the corners, because the corners distort it, pulls it too much. So it's flat and it's held down.
Brilliant.
We've got the 3 layers together.
Yeah.
You put the pin in and you put it in as far as it'll go through the 3 layers, and you just rock it back and it pops itself up.
Brilliant. $4.95 for those.
You're not even moving any of the fabric. It goes in, you rock it back and it just pops up, and then you just close it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Jane, we are out of time. We are on the last few seconds of the show. Thank you so much. Firstly, for making such a fabulous quilt. Secondly, for showing us everything. And thirdly, for offering to help out with Lucy's voice. So thank you so much. When are you back?
Not sure. A couple of weeks, I think it is. September.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much. We're not done yet. Lucy is back in just a few minutes. Join us for more miming fun after the break. Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
There are many ways you can watch Sewing Quarter. We are live every day on Freeview Channel 78 and online at sewingquarter.com from 8 a.m. till 12 noon. But if you've missed a show, don't worry. There are 2 easy ways to catch up. The first is through our website, www.sewingquarter.com, where we repeat that morning's shows throughout the day. On the homepage, you'll see our video stream. Click on the video to hear sound and see a list of the products that we have shown in that day's shows. The second way to catch up is on our YouTube channel. All our shows are kept on YouTube, so if you buy a product and want to see the demonstration again, you can. Go to www.youtube.com/Sewing Quarter, where you'll find all our shows listed by date. Select your preferred date. Then, using the description beneath the video, jump to the hour you want to watch. Then you can pause, rewind, play, and skip your way to the bits that you want to watch again. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. When you spend £10 on your first purchase, you will receive this free sewing kit from the Sewing Quarter worth £14.99.
Following the success of our Christmas in July series, we're bringing the festive spirit back to the Sewing Quarter studio. Join us on the 25th of August for a morning of merry makes featuring guests Jo Carter and Lucy Brennan. With a stack of festive fabrics by their side, Jo and Lucy will show us how to create Christmas quilts, advent calendars and soft toys. Among them is Jo's perky penguin, who makes a welcome return, this time with a seasonal twist. So, join us for this one-day Christmas special, 8 a.m. to 12 noon on Friday the 25th of August, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Give your wardrobe a handmade upgrade with a little help from Jennifer Mills. On Wednesday the 23rd of August, Jennifer will create a chic outfit over 2 hours. She'll start with a classic blouse with a range of sleeve styles using a classic McCall's pattern. Then she'll fashion a fitted wrap skirt in beautiful enzyme linen. You can recreate this stylish look in a range of colour palettes for a timeless, sophisticated look. And with Jennifer's vast knowledge of all things dressmaking, you're in safe hands. So, join us on Wednesday the 23rd of August at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. for these essential dressmaking demonstrations, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Did you know there are multiple ways you can contact us, even if it's just to ask a question? Our friendly team are always on standby. You can call our customer service team at 0800 112 4433, email us at help@sewingquarter.com, visit our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Sewing Quarter, and even message us through our website, and our presenters will answer your questions live on air. Hello, welcome back to our last live, slightly muted hour. Lucy Brennan is back with us. Can I just say she's not, she doesn't feel unwell. She's just got no voice. She just doesn't have a voice. So we'll be doing our best to voice over for her. So bear with us. But she has created this gorgeous cushion. We did try and send her home. She was very naughty and wouldn't go, but we did try, okay? We did try. And she will reiterate, she says she's fine. She's smiling, it's all good. And she's made this, which is utterly gorgeous. And I think everyone can agree, really beautiful. Now, the creative grids today, because it's all been about your templates and your techniques to use those templates, and creative grids are one of our favourite templates that we have on the shows. So I just wanted to show you around the website, because some of them are coming into limited stock, some of you are after different ones. So let's head to the website and just take a look, because I know some of you are new to this as well. So this is the website. If you head to watch, and then you can watch us live. So view us live. And it'll come up. Oh, hello, where are you heading to? There we go. There we are live. And then down on the right-hand side, firstly you can message us. There's Message the Studio on the right-hand side underneath Watching Live. But if you keep scrolling down, everything we've had on the shows today is all there. Everything. So everything we've got left in stock is on there. Now, if you want to find even more creative grids, maybe you're like Karen and you're on your 9th creative grid. Let's see if we can make that 10 this morning, Karen. I feel like it's, a challenge. Everything we've had on the shows are there. If you want to find even more creative grids, then you head onto the website and you go to shop, and then you go down onto, I think it's templates, isn't it? Templates, and there you go, mats, rulers and templates. Or you can just type in the search creative grids, and it will come up with all sorts of rulers. Well, it will come up with all the creative grids if you type in creative grids. So that's your way to navigate around the website. Now, this hour, did you see the trousers that I was wearing made out of this fabric the other day? Gorgeous, yeah. That Paul Clark made for me. This was the 14th. It was the day before my birthday. It was 14th of August. But we've got this now in a bundle. Look at this. So a ½ metre of each of these fabrics. This is from the new Botanica range, which I absolutely love. It's beautiful, isn't it? Really beautiful. In fact, I'm going to waft this out because the pattern on here is just gorgeous. Look at that. And when that was in trouser form, that was brilliant. That is available by the ½ metre, but today it's a ½ metre as a bundle. So this is your Pacific Blue Exotic Fabric Bundle. You're getting 2 metres, a ½ metre of each. So £16.95 gets you that. It's coming with your yellow spot on. You've got a red in there and a cream as well. So that's everything that you're getting in that bundle. There, I've just folded that up the wrong way. Now, sticking with this, this botanical theme, we've got a kind of a duck egg thing. Now, you see this wood, I've got a purple sofa and this wood, this is my colours. These are my colours. Beautiful. So let me show you this one. There we go. Here we are. And I believe this is out of the same botanical range. There we are, £16.95. But that duck egg background there, well, it's called pearl blue. I call it duck egg. But that's your Botanica Forest Fruits, which is also rather lovely. So we've got that there. Then you've got your duck egg spot on, and then you've got your forest fruits, and your mauve mist, and your spot on teal. They're not calling it duck egg. Why isn't any of it called duck egg? To me, that's duck egg. They're not letting me name anything. It's fine. It's fine. £16.45 for that. One day, says producer Hayley, one day I'll be let loose with naming. And then I'm asked to name something and all my ideas just go. So it's fine. It's fine. So this is the one that the cushion is made out of. Gorgeous. Really pretty. £16.95 again. Antique Forest Fruits Fabric Bundle. Can't put my teeth back in for that. Tell you what, Lucy, it's good job you've lost your voice because I've got to get my mouth around that lot. Antique Forest Fruits Fabric Bundle, fabric 2 metres. Spot on mauve. You've got pistachio there and damson, and there you go. ½ metre of each of those, so 2 metres. Do you want to have a look at this one? Because otherwise it's unfair, isn't it? You know, you can't have favourites. So we've got a favourite. Look at that. It's very, very pretty. Oh, producer Hayley says it's a bit farmhouse. Yeah, I could see that. I could see how that could be farmhousey. I think it's very delicate, though. All those berries. It's a bit autumnal, actually, isn't it, with all the berries? There we go. There are your options today. Oh, look, see, you can see how beautifully that goes. Well, actually, look at this. Each of those bundles, utterly beautiful, £16.95. This is what we're making. Yeah. I do like that pistachio with it. It just makes it boom. I'm going to take this with me. Yay! Now this is all made using Creative Grids rulers. Lucy Brennan's back. Hello. Now, if I thought that you were catching it anyway, I wouldn't be doing that. So let's reiterate. You feel great. Little tap dance or something, yeah. You just have no voice. Okay, so we're good to go. So if I talk more than normal, yeah, it's for that. Now, we use the Curvy Log Cabin trim tool. Gosh. And we use the 8-inch Curvy Log Cabin trim tool. We have various sizes of the Curvy Log Cabin trim tool. God, blimey. $22.95 does that. Now, don't ever throw this away. So, curving, because you're getting the different sizes, because your inspiration is on the back. If I open it up, then your instructions are in there. Whoops. There you go. That's all there for you. And shows you how to cut using the grid. I like it a lot. Right, Lucy, where do we start? Material. So, first thing to bear in mind with the fabric is choosing which one to do where. For example, you can. Lucy's chosen to do this so that that is all one. She could have chosen to have added these strips, and these are all strips. If I point that forward, can you see these are all strips? So Lucy could have done and added that, but because she's got a bundle of gorgeous fabrics, she wants to make the most of it. So it's about how to highlight and little hearts. So she's put that in as a little heart. And then that pistachio really pops. You're going to have a lot of pistachio left over. Yeah. And out of that bundle, there you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Where do we start with such a fancy schmancy design? So cut your strips, 2.5-inch strips. You can do 2 1/4, but it's better to do 2.5-inch strips. And if you manage to get this earlier, I'm going to put that against your top because it's better. Oh, it looks like a spider's web against your top, doesn't it? It's brilliant. You use these, okay, so Lucy used this to cut her 2.5-inch strips. We had this on the earlier, oh, that's doing funny things against the black. Oh, we'll put it against my top instead. This is almost sold out, $44.95. If you missed what it did, well, I mean, we spent nearly half a show having a play with this. Absolutely brilliant. But basically, it's just loads and loads of strips to put your rotary cutter into. At the bottom, it's got like a guide. So you just ease your rotary cutter into there. It's like a teardrop shape. And then by the time you're in there, it can't do anything but cut straight. It's got it at 1/2-inch increments, but it's also got a 1/4 inch line. So if you want to get that 1/4 inch increment, just move your fabric across. And then if you want to do patchwork squares, spin it over, cut again. Fabulous! And that was how you cut those 2.5-inch strips. So we've cut our strips, get decided on the fabrics, and then you open up your instructions. Possibly open up the instructions earlier. So, centre squares. So you need to cut a precise 1 3/4 inch square, and that's for your centre square.
Yeah, but
just
it makes up the edge.
But it makes up the edge of the circle. So here we go. You've got that one, and oh, so it's the white one. It's up. Oh, it's up there. Oh, is that one? Yeah. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. How many blocks is this? Is this 4 blocks? That's the illusion. So you have to think about fabric very, very carefully, because that is the start. Okay, right. Rewind. This is the block. So you see you've got kind of a curve. That's why it's called a curved log cabin, because it's got that. Right, so you've got your thin strips there, your thick strips there. That's the love heart that we've got there. So that bit that makes more sense. That bit there is that bit there. That white one there is that one there, and so on and so forth. So this is 4 of those put together, bing, to make that. So not how I thought that was made. At all. That's the joy of quilting. You look all smug about that. It's like, yeah, fooled you. So you start off with a 1 3/4. You could do that on your stripology, or you could chew it, because we don't have a rotary cutter. Amy, please could we have a rotary cutter? So trim off your selvage, and then wait for someone to get us a rotary cutter. La 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 la. I love the fact that you've got all of these different options as well. That's a crazy old quilt going on there, isn't it? And again, made out of that block. So you've got the wave, and that's why it's a curvy log cabin. So in that one block, you can see just that one block there, giving you that curve, and then it's brilliant, isn't it? Or you do a curve all the way around like that to make a cushion. Fab. Then magically, things appear. Now this is the 3.5-inch by 12.5-inch tiddly widdly widdly ruler. So you need to get this square very, very accurate, else it will it'll ruin the whole thing. you know, not to scaremonger or anything, but... And, oh, hello. Here's the reason for your accuracy. Look at... What? Hang on. This is where your Curvy Log Cabin rule comes in. Oh! This is... Right. So just that first square here is your 1 3/4, and now get your marker pen because you're going to draw on your seam guide so that there is no error here at all. Not at all. Ooh. So you can then draw, you can match the dots, dot to dot if you want. Check your seams. Very important to check your seams. Then, check your fabric, decide which colour, and as Lucy would like to have said, but can't. Fabric choice is very important. Now, cutting off the selvage, what size are we going to do? So the first round. So the first round, read off here.
I know this one.
Oh, you know this one. A 1 3/4 because you've got that edge there. So you're starting off on your 1 3/4 because it's got to go along there. It's got to go along that edge. So that's common sense. 1 3/4. And then
don't worry about the width.
Don't worry about the width. Oh, it's all from the strips. Okay. Excellent. So whilst Lucy sews that, it's all in here. So look at this. If you can see on the instructions here. So what we've done, we've started off and we drew on the seam allowance. Now this piece that we're next going to do, you will then, when you've added on the other side, you will square off. So don't worry, when Lucy says don't worry about the length, just make sure that the width is correct. So the width of the lighter fabric was 1 3/4, so you're going to add something that is 1 3/4 and sew along that line. But don't worry about what length that is. Okay. So just check that as you sew along, you are sewing from dot to dot. This is where the accuracy comes in. This is how you get such a lovely finish. So dot to dot, there you go. Producer Hayley would draw a line. She shouldn't trust herself. And that's fair enough. You can draw a line. We've got lots of different pens and pencils and things on the website. And then press. I can do that. I can do that. So press away from the centre square. So like that. And then other way round. Away. That way. Possibly. Yay! Away from the centre square. You know when somebody says something and you just have to really stop and think, take stock of what they've said and go, I have no idea if I've just done that right. Your lips are moving?
So we're going to join
okay, so now we join that onto there. So does that matter, again, the length? No, because you're going to square it off on your, so just a rough cut, but obviously rough cut a bit longer than you need, because you're going to square this off on your Curvy Log Cabin trim tool. It's all starting to make sense now. We've got 6-inch, 8-inch, we've got all sorts of, so deciding on which side you want to go for. So this one here is, that's your 8-inch. And then we've also got your 6-inch one here. Just gives you a smaller block. So that's what it's doing, exactly the same thing, but just giving you a smaller, there you go, Curvy Log Cabin trim tool. So again, it's giving you those ideas there. This is brilliant. So as we go along, in fact, I'm just sorry, Lucy, stretching across in front of you, but I just want to use this because I think this is going to show up brilliantly. This is where we started off over here. So that's your seam guide and your centre square. So it all hinges on this centre square. And so Lucy made sure that her 1 3/4 sat perfectly in there and then did her seam. Now I'm going to guess that we're going to, now that she's got another square, because she's added on that bit and then sewed on that bit, you will then mark that and cut. Is that right? You do a whole round. Yeah. Yeah. That's brilliant. So this is your wide round 1. And then you're going to do round 2. Ding ding. So you're doing all 4 pieces as you go round, and then you trim back. So that's going to be the placement for your centre square on round 1. Oh, this all makes perfect sense. And then you see round 2, round 3, and then you've got the narrow sides this side, because you've got fat one side, thin the other, which is how you get that curve. This is very clever. Imagine if you had to try and trim that any other way. God, I'd be lost. Creative grids are geniuses at what they do. It would be very easy to get confused. Very easy. Wow. Lots of you coming in for the 8-inch. We've got the 6-inch as well. That's now on the website for you to peruse at your leisure. We've got lots of these. Hang on, how many of these have we actually got? We've got 3 of the same one. Karen says she's blown her budget for... Budget? That's a cross between a badger and a budget. For the month, she's bought number 10. Good girl. Karen, we salute you. Now, that centrepiece that we were so careful about cutting and making sure that we marked out precisely, now needs to move to that centre point there. I'm going to spin that around very quickly. So here we go. Let me show you. That's the piece that you started with there. That was your centrepiece. We all agree on that. Round 1. Ding, ding. Round 1. Pop that over there, and then you can cut and square that off. Would you like a rotating cutting mat for that? No. You can line up your seams with all of these other markers so that you know you are getting it absolutely spot on. Have I put that round the wrong way then? You'll turn it around. Oh, yeah, like that.
No, it was right.
It was right. Yes. Oh, very nice. And then you can see how perfect it is. This is brilliant. So you're not having to worry about cutting your lengths absolutely accurate, because this trimming tool is going to make it accurate. And that's the thing. You look at the intricacy of Lucy's cushion here. You can't afford for any of that to be off. You just can't. It would just wouldn't look right. So we've done the wide side. Now we're going to spin it and do the narrow side, the skinny side. So narrow 1. Oh, so okay. So the narrow side is now being cut. So we've done a whole round. We wanted, this is our fat side. This is like after Christmas side. This is pre-Christmas side. This is your skinny side. This is your fat side. Oh, Christine in North Yorkshire says, it's like watching a wonderful game of charades. Well done, girls. See, it's Christmas. It is Christmas. We'll get there eventually. Ah, there we go. So, okay, this is what's going to give us the curve, because you've got fat one side, skinny one side. And so as you start to build it, of course, there's going to be that movement going around, which is why when you get your creative grids, you can then do things like that with it, all from just trimming it correctly. Amazing. Love this. And I love that you're doing a traditional log cabin, in terms of a traditional log cabin would have dark one side and light the other. Oh, yeah, clever thing. It's almost like you're a professional, isn't it? And, who knew? Who knew? Brilliant. So now, and repeat. So 2 sides, other 2 sides. One's going to be fat, one's going to be thin. And stick to the fat side and the thin side. So keep your fat ones one side and your thin ones the other, unless it's a different look you're after. Design choices galore. You change your fabrics when you want to, but when you do your initial block, it's very clear in the instructions So, and it keeps C being your centre block there. I've got it upside down, but you get the idea. So that's your centre block. Dark ones for the skinny ones, same colour for that one. But we've done that pattern like this. So let's. Okay, so if this is effectively a block here. So that is your start off square. So Lucy's done fat in plain, skinny in spot. And then she's done fat in botanical. Again, next round skinny in spot. Fat in botanical, skinny in your pistachio green. And that's your block. And then the purple, the deep purple all the way around is then just your border for the whole thing. It's good. It's very good. Oh, you're like a fabric magician. It is a lot of fun. Even the guesswork is a lot of fun today. We're getting there. Teamwork, see? Perfect. Okay, so this gave you the heart. So as Lucy said, there's your heart. Start a square, there's your heart. Fat heart, skinny V. Fat, and now we're going to add on 2 more strips of whatever colour you want. You did the next ones in pistachio. But you could do this, because we're now working with this bundle, which, what did we call this? What colour did we call this in the end? It wasn't duck egg, and after that I lost interest when it wasn't what colour I wanted to call it. Pale blue, pearl blue. Okay, no, I'll let it have pearl blue. / duck egg. 1645. So you're now going to put the spot on for your skinny side. And then... Oh, yes, okay. So you do the trick of... try that again. When you make the log cabin, and you want to trim... Oh, that trick, yes. Someone asked me the other day about a log cabin, which side do you know where to sew to? Okay, it's easy, honest, after all of that charades. You'll notice, if you go along this side, you've got 2 pieces of fabric. If you come down this side, you've got 2 pieces of fabric. So the one with 1 seam or 2 pieces of fabric, the one with 3, look, 1, 2, 3, or 2 seams, that's the side you sew to. And then you get that spin, and you get used to just doing that rotation. So you know that it's not that side, because that's just 1 long piece of fabric. You know that it's not that, because that's just got 1 seam, 1 seam. Aha, 2 seams, that's the side I sew to next, is what Lucy was trying to say. Yes. So that's, yeah, producer Haley says, and she's quite right, if you have to go and leave a project... My postman, Tom, is particularly chatty. And the children, they're chatty too. Yeah, but, you know, when he comes with all my parcels and stuff, whoops, ordering things again, then, you know, when I go back to it, I need to know where I left off. That's the way. Julie says, who said sewing wasn't fun? No one here. Ever, or we wouldn't let them in the door. Lucy, you're a trooper. Tash, you're doing a grand job, says Julie in Scotland. Well, thank you very much. In the face of adversity. Aren't we truly British? We shall sew on. We used to call it Dr. Theatre, that somehow you would always find a way with Dr. Theatre. Oh, Claire in Bristol says, Lucy, you're a superstar. I can understand the instructions perfectly. Hope you get your voice back soon. You see, maybe they, yeah. Maybe we've missed a trick here. Maybe this channel could have been up and running in black and white times. We've had to wait this long. They'd have had beautiful fabrics. Oh, you wouldn't see the... Oh, yeah, black and white. Oh, yeah, no, you wouldn't see the colour. Yeah, great. We have these beautiful grey fabrics again. Slightly shade of grey. And, Yeah, okay, there's an error in that thought process. Okay, 1/4 inch down that long side. And you weren't too fussy about how you trim that fabric because you've got one of your 3 curvy trim tools. They just kept popping up everywhere. Like, hang on, how many sizes have we got? No, we've got 2 sizes. We've got an 8-inch and a 6-inch. It's just that we appear to have 3 versions of the 8-inch here. That's the finished size of the block, is the 8-inch. If you want a 6-inch finished block. So what's nice about the 6-inch is that 4 of them make a 12-inch block, and then you can standard size for your quilting. Yes. Whereas with 8 inches, you've got to do more maths. So now, ding ding, round 2. So you line it up, your centre square, that initial square that you started off with, you line up. Make sure, are you going to start fat side first? Fat side first. Oh, they call it wide. They're slightly politer. Wide side first. That's your centre square that you started off with. So wide round 2. Ding, ding. And then you're just going to trim it because this is your Curvy Log Cabin trim tool. And then everything then works up from that. So trim, trim, trim. Oh, yes, Producer Hayley, you did need this when you did your block. Spin it around because now you're going to the skinny side. Narrow, as it's otherwise known. So narrow round 2. And line up again, you've got that dotted line to make sure. It's like with the triangles that we did earlier, that has that dotted line through the triangle to make sure that the centre of your strips is accurate. Exactly the same for here. I sound like a broken record, but Creative Grids are so clever about how they make their tools. So much time and effort has gone into making this so that you can be the best that you can be. It's brilliant, utterly brilliant. Oh, you like this one because you're not measuring all the time? Yes. It's quite a relaxing one. We're in the middle of moving house. Might have mentioned. It appears to be ongoing and never-ending. But I just... Sorry? I did not mention... Just Helly, yeah, no, we're moving house. But I just needed a break from packing and Freddie packing. Oh my word, 3-year-olds packing is hilarious. And I just got all my 2.5-inch strips out that I hadn't packed and just sat mindlessly sewing them in a log cabin. Blah, blah, blah. Just kept going. Whatever came out, it was just the most random thing because I just needed an off switch and I just needed to just be able to do something that wasn't packing boxes. And this is the same kind of thing. You've cut your strips, now just get sewing. So we know 1 seam, 2 seam, sew it together. 1 seam, 2 seam, sew it together.
And you can just finger press
And you can finger press it as well in between. And then when you've sewn all the way round, then you press. Hooray! So let's recap everything we've used today. Do you want to go for the bundles first? See you in a minute, Lucy. Bye. In my ear, I have producer Hayley and I have award-winning director Mike. And award-winning director Mike's gone, yeah, let's make sure that Lucy's mic is down as we have. Why, she can't say anything anyway. What's she going to say? But here's award-winning producer Mike. Hayley, have you won an award? Probably. Did you win any awards at school, producer Hayley? Oh, she came 3rd in synchronised swimming. Synchronised swimming producer Hayley. Synchronised swimming's really hard. You've got to be like multiply athletic because you've got to be an acrobat and a swim. Amazing. Oh, you were only 12, right? Okay. Have you not had any awards more recently than 12? We'll make you one. All right. Wait, I guess you're getting quite upset about that. Can we start with my trouser one? Did you not see the trousers? They were like, where's Amy? Could Amy get the trousers to show? Because they did look lovely. completely misheard Director Mike then, who says, I've got them on. What he meant was, he hasn't actually got the trousers on, he's got them on a side. You know when you do a double take, you've got them on, award-winning Director Mike? Oh, interesting. It's been an interesting morning this morning. Welcome to Sewing Quarter. The show will go on. We've got... Oh, no, look. Have we got... Here we go. Don't they look great as a capri pant? Yeah. So now you can get that fabric by itself. And you see, so F for Freddie, P for Papa, M for award-winning Director Mike, and Y for Yankee 21 is that fabric by the ½ metre. Love it. That was Paul Clark. That was, if you want to get that show, that was the 14th of August. Anyway, we digress. This fabric now for quilting. It's 100% cotton, so it's entirely versatile. So, of course, you can make trousers with it, you can make quilts with it, you can make bags with it, you can make whatever you want with it. I want to make pretty much everything with it because I loves it. We've put it with a yellow spot on. You're getting ½ metre of each of these. We've also got it with your Christmas red and your ivory there. That's the bundle, £16.95, ½ metre of each of those. Maybe you want the finer pattern in not duck egg. What do we call it? Pearl blue. That's what we're calling it. You know when you get something in your head? It's like, I so want that to be duck egg. We've also got, with it, a ½ metre of your teal spot on, very purple, and mauve mist. Ooh. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? ½ metre of each of those, £16.45 for that one. Then over here, if you fancy, this is the one that we've got the cushion out of today. There they are, ½ metre of each. You've got pistachio in there. You've got your antique forest. You've got your spot on and in mauve. And then you've got, what's this purple one called? Damson. No, not damsel. That's something different, producer Hayley. That damsel in distress. Yes. No, damson. That's that one. Which one is the most popular synchronised swimming, producer Hayley? Oh. The pearl blue is most popular this hour. Whichever one you go for, it's gorgeous. Each one is a winner. Perfectly matched colours there. Absolute kudos to whoever matched those. Who did match those? Was that our Wendy? Probably. We'll give her that. Oh, yeah, no, we're getting nods over here. Yeah. Yeah. OK. Oh, hang on. Look at you. So you've given it a press because you press before you cut. Very important. Let's look to the wide side. So we're now on round 3. And round 3 is, ding, ding, the last round. So it's in white. So that indicates that you're getting to the edge of it. So the wide side, we start off with the purple being wide. And again, lining up. You can see those dotted lines lining up beautifully onto those seams. Oh, you've done such a good job. It's the ruler. It's not your magical hands. It's the ruler. And your hands produce this. So you can line up. So you're double checking all the time. Then we're going to trim round there, spin it around. Yes. All the anticipation. Brilliant. There we go. Now spin it around to the narrow side. And again, it all pivots on that centre square. All of it. And then, okay, so look, this is perfect. We can line this up around the edge. You've got those dotted lines, again, lining up perfectly. What a piece of kit this is. I would have overlooked this. I didn't think it looked that exciting and I didn't really understand it. I was like, it's a square with a few marks on. But you can, yeah, of course, you get different effects depending on your fabric. So what Lucy really wanted me to stress this hour is that your fabric choice is vital here. So if you just did that in 2 different colourways, you'd have got, which is what, oh, that's what you're going to try and do quickly. Are you setting yourself your own challenges? Yes. Yes, yes. So you're going to cut 2.5-inch strips And then, so you start off, this is, so round 1, 1 3/4 inch square. That's your starter point. And then the first one that you cut out of your 2.5 inch strip has to be 1 3/4. That's the only bit of accurate cutting once you've cut your strips that you need to do. And then we get going. You can, of course, use your Curvy Log Cabin trim tool to then do your seam allowances. But Lucy's a pro. Oh, someone sent in a picture. Oh, look at this. This is from Sandra. She has used the Creative Grids Curvy Log Cabin Gadgety Gizmo tool. Is that a normal log cabin? Oh, hang on, I've lost you again, Producer Hayley. Say that again. No, I've lost her. Lost her completely. The curvy one has the narrow and the wide. That's just a normal log cabin. I say just a normal log cabin. Oh, there is a trim tool for a normal log cabin. Hang on. Producer Hayley's come unplugged. Let me just pop that back in. You're back again. Hello. Sandra's made that from the log cabin, so that's the normal one, not the curvy one. Get there. Sorry, I came a bit unplugged then. It's very beautiful, isn't it? Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love it when people send in their quilts. And also because then you get to see their fabric choices as well. Jane and I were saying on the earlier show, it's like a food envy when someone orders something and you're like, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I want that one rather than this one. You could order all the fabric, then there's no upset then. So very quickly, Lucy's set herself a challenge. So she, as you do, and she's going to work around and see if she can do one side dark, one side light in your kind of your traditional log cabin. Oh. So whilst we've been working away down here, synchronised swimming producer Hayley has been Googling images, other search engines are available, of curvy log cabins. And she said they're stunning. There's so many ideas out there. So once you can do a curvy log cabin block,
it really looks like circles.
It does look like circles. It's ever so... the illusion is all with this. It's very, very clever. I'm very, very impressed. Now this is... I'm just giggling because we put up information just by Lucy's head there, creative on the screen. So it's not actually there. Where it says Curvy Log Cabin Trim Tool, finished blocks by Jean. It doesn't fit. Hang on, what? It should say. I feel that Jean Ann Wright. Not just Jean. Jean Ann Wright. Let's give her a full credit there. Jean Ann Wright. We ran out of space. By Jean. Well done, Jean. Gosh, half of the stock gone and we brought you loads. I can't wait to see what you all make with it. So exciting to see that. Okay, so let's start off trimming. Ding ding, round one. So round one, the wide round one. Centre square. Centre it up, check your lines, all going in the right places. And then trim. And then this is your narrow round. Lovely. Whizzing round on here, aren't you? Is that your favourite rotary cutter?
You can. I do like.
Oh, you do like that one? Yeah, I can see you just whizzing along. Right, okay, so now we've got to decide where we go. So again, rule of thumb. There's a seam, two seam side, add that in. I look for 3 pieces of fabric. That's my thing. either 3 pieces of fabric, 2 seams, it's the same thing. That's the side that you want to sew to next. And then you won't get yourself lost. You just keep sewing round and round and round. Beautiful. Let me show you the bundles. Is this one still the most popular one? The pearl blue? Hey, this is your pearl blue, but you've also got, oh, you've got all sorts of, you've got teal spot on there, you've got mauve mist, and you've got, oh, is it very purple? I should be able to remember this, shouldn't I? No, damson's the other one. Forest fruits, that's it. All sounding deliciously delicious. $16.45 for that one. Now this one is the one, that's your damson there. That's your antique forest. So damson, antique forest, that is your mauve spot on, and that's your pistachio. That's your other bundle there. Lucy's just whizzing around here. Whiz, whiz, whiz. Let me give you the details for that. There we go. That's what you're getting, 1/2 metre of each of those. You've got to make the cushion yourself, obviously. $16.95 there, GC88. And then one more, which I like to call the trouser bundle. It's not. It's your Pacific Blue bundle. And you're going to get, here we go. You've got your yellow spot on, you've got your Christmas red, and you've got ivory in there. $16.95, VVGC68. So yeah, there is an ivory on the edge there. You are getting 4.5 metres. It just looks like it's only 3 fabrics there, 4 fabrics there. Lucy's whizzing away here. I tell you what, she may not have a voice, but those hands are still magic. And if you make more than one block, they come together, you just get used to it. You get into the groove. So just do, you can batch make. So just do the same section on each one. You can almost chain stitch it, couldn't you? And off you go. That's exactly what you could do. So very, very quick. And a stunning effect by the end of it. Had you used this one before? Yes. Oh, yes. So it's like an old friend. Oh, you have it. So are some of these yours? Because we seem to have lots of them. You don't think so? Maybe. Maybe. It could be. Check. Yeah, check. But that's a good point to make, actually. They do last, they just last because there's nothing to wear out. As long as you look after them and store them flat, that's the key, store them flat. You can see all the way around there, this is your non-stick grip, non-slip grip. So, the quilt book that we had on the earlier show, by the way, sold out. Well done if you managed to get that. And the rotating cutting mat, I think we've seen that we need that, is also on the way out. So please make sure that you check out your basket if you've got the rotating cutting mat as well. Gosh, busy times. And you can hang them as well. So my dad in his garage has one of those, those boards with all the holes in. You put the nails in, and then he draws around the outside. So he could always see when I borrowed a tool and go nuts because I forgot to put them back. Oh, you've got some old shop fittings. Oh, yeah, with the pegs. And so you just hang them. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant storage solutions. Yeah. So, what are we cutting first? The wide side. So, ding round 2, centre that square, and then you cut round. And making sure that because this is where it gets really technical, isn't it? And really precise, is making sure that seam line and that seam line, that they all line up. And that's how you're going to get the perfect finish. Brilliant. I need one of these because my log cabins do go a little bit wonky. I'm not going to lie. It does keep it really nice and straight, doesn't it? Because you're squaring off the whole time. Excellent. So this is the narrow side. We talked about scraps earlier. Nobody really told me what they did with their scraps. But for me, like scraps like this, if they're really, really tiny like that, I put them all in and then I stuff dog and cat beds and stuff with them. Because then I know it can all be washed and tumble dry. This is coming together remarkably quickly and looking really rather gorgeous. But this is another thing that you might look at and go, well, how's that been done? Nice. And off it goes. This was the one that we made earlier. So again, we talked about design choices. Lucy chose on this one to do a heart as her centre. Did that just also help highlight that that was your beginner square there? Hang on, which one? That one's the beginner square, and then you went round from there. So having that as a one by itself, and then round it goes. All design choices. Sorry? Oh, this is from Linda. So this is a log cabin. So this isn't a curvy one. This is a straight log cabin, like as we would expect to see a log cabin. But wow, so you've got, oh gosh, that's beautiful. So is that, okay, Linda, you're gonna have to tell me, is that 6-inch ones and then a 12-inch as the big one? Is that how that's made up? Because we've got the Curvy Log Cabin 6-inch, and that was the point that Lucy made, is that if you get the 6-inch Curvy Log Cabin trim tool, then you can do something like that. Clever, very clever. Again, more design choices. It's lovely, isn't it? Really beautiful. Lovely choice of colour as well. You're a clever lot. The most difficult thing for someone who is quite indecisive like myself, choosing which colour and then choosing where to start can be sometimes overwhelming. So sometimes stick to what I know. But this is a lovely twist on what I know. I'd be very comfortable to do this, very happy to do this. And also, if you've already bought pre-cut design strips, / jelly rolls, we're not really meant to call them that. Yeah, you're right, everybody's got them just sitting there. Then you could. And in fact, what I might do in that case is use up all my old scraps, and then you could just do each one differently and maybe put some plain sashing around it so that you just, or warms and cools. So warms one side, cools the other. Oh, clever. That's taking your design choices a step further, isn't it? I just mishmash any old colours together. You're like, no, warms and cools, warms and cools. That's why you're the expert demonstrator. Gosh, that's done.
That's one more.
One more?
Yeah, one more.
So because then you would iron and then, press. I must stop calling it ironing. Oh, Lisa says, hi, Natasha. You are giving so many tips and hints this morning. I've been inspired. Thank you. Lucy, you're a trooper. They're not really my hints and tips. They're Lucy's. I'm just translating them through the medium of mime and quilting. And another one says, Christine in Nottinghamshire. She says, my wife, Chris, fell in love with your channel and loves the interaction that you have with your guests. She is also fascinated with all the grids. Thank you. That's really kind. That's not from Christine. That must be from Christine's other half. Yeah. While she's watching, her other half's messaging in. That's great, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe she's dictating shorthand. Or miming too. Which bundle, sorry, producer? Oh, the pearl blue is still in the lead. I'm not surprised because you're working on that one. It is very pretty and it will go with my sofa. So that's always good. Yeah. I told you about my sofa, haven't I? The one that I'm convinced is still new. But actually I worked out the other day I've had for 17 years. But I'm still convinced that it's like I can't possibly throw it away, even though the cat claws the sides of it and everything else. But so I need to learn next how to cover my sofa. And I thought I might patchwork cover it. Nice. Just.
I've seen beautiful.
Oh, have you? You've seen beautiful ones. You haven't seen mine. Mine might not be beautiful, but it would be a way. Oh, I tell you what, though, if Hugo, my cat, clawed that once I'd patchworked it, there would be trouble. Yes, we can look at the rotating mat again. Yes, we can, because this is flying out the window. If you are in any way worried about cutting and staying safe as you cut, in fact, Lucy, here we go, we can show this, can't we, with this? Because we can spin it and cut. Do you want to do it? Shall I give it a go? Can I? Do you trust me on, like, the last bit? You're really brave.
Oh, I'm going to have done that wrong. Oh, no, that's...
Okay, so that's... Okay, there's the fat side.
I sometimes would think that was the square and think I'd done
Oh, right, you sometimes... Okay.
you know.
Make sure. Do you know, you could even get a pen, couldn't you? And just... Because in all of the instructions, they've got that mark to C for your central one. So you could mark that off and just get one of the, like a bit of chalk or something, and just so you always come back to the right one. So I'm going to... And I've only learnt this out. This is brilliant. Lining up my seams there. Lining up my seams, bing, bing, along there. I say my seams, Lucy's done all this. Just pull it in. Are you happy for me to cut? Okay. Cut. You can see I'm not a pro cutter like Lucy, but you see I'm then going to have to cut away. That's awkward for me. Not anymore. Spin, 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 spin. Line up there. Oh, sorry, keep going. So then, let's see if I can work this out. Spin that around, that's my finish. So now I want to spin that round, that's my centre square. And then I line up everything else, that's looking pretty good. Oh, hang on, no, lining up that corner there. Line that, yep. Are we happy? Happy? Sure? Tug that out there. There we go. Sure? Got the thumbs up, ladies and gents. It's all good. Spin, 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 spin. Check everything's still in place. Yes, it is. Now, if I was a pro, I'd have made that look really quick. But actually, for a beginner cutter, I'm still not, great with the old rotary cutter, but I do give it a go. But you should never rush. Yay! That's fab. So 2 different designs there from the same fabric, same tool, 2 different designs. Gorgeous. They do look totally different, don't they? That's brilliant. Hey.
So if you put this...
So if you... Oh, hang on. Put 4 together, then you'd got like a cross. So sort of like this, but bigger. Because if you imagine, so basically you'd have that bit in there as well. It's lovely. Oh, nice. So that gives you the circle. But if you do it that way, you get the cross. That way to get the circle. This is fabulous. What a brilliant piece of kit. Oh, you've got to get it. So the hardest decision to make is whether you go for the 6-inch or the 8-inch. Is that the most, or both is the other decision. Karen, we're not looking at you. We're so looking at Karen. Let's also, favourite thing. And we don't have very many of these left. But this has been my favourite thing. And that's going some because we've had lots of fabulous things on. But I do love a gadget. And this is going to give me... You've seen, I'm not the world's best cutter, but I want to be. And this allows me to be. So Lucy's getting her fabric out. Yeah, I want to do it. Yeah. Iron it, press it, make sure that it's lovely. Don't do like we're doing, but we're nearly out of time. Get your grid. If, like me, you just want to cut stuff and be accurate. You want to line up this bottom white line. Below that is the slot to get your groove on. So, coming up tomorrow. Yes, coming up tomorrow. I'm going to do 0 first of all. We've got Dunga dress, Kaffe artisan at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock flower applique bag, pre-cut perfection, and off we go. I'm a cutting. Oh, we're nearly out of time. 2.5-inch strip. Can I do it? Lucy, thank you so much. You've been an absolute trooper. There's my 2.5-inch strip. Hooray! See you tomorrow. Thank you. Don't forget, shopping with us is easy and simple. You can just contact us at 0800 112 4433 and speak to our UK-based call centre to place an order, or shop online with us at www.sewingquarter.com.